Sundown Count is all night. If you up, smash that like button. Welcome to Black and the Black Times Infinity. I'm your host, Cthulhu's Prodigy, coming to you live and direct from the stack. Smoke me out, fam, with that dang shit on my left. Stitch.
Keep away from those sundowns, County, please.
On my far right, engineering on the ones and twos, choke people out on the threes and fours, Chronos.
I'm gonna keep doing me.
Last but not least, we got your boy Blue.
I might need to go check on Jada Smith because August is almost over.
God damn. Old Ninja is doing some old man shit. He may join us later. He may not. We got a packed show for y'all. So let's get in it.
That we do. We can talk about listener of the week would be Anthony. Thank you very much for listening. And first in the chat would be, we're a little bit late, so usually when we're late, oh, no, somebody's here. Patrick, what's going on? And he's in Chi-Town now, which is weird because he's from Chicago. He's a fellow Blurred and beer guy. I met him through beer, basically. I'm about to drink a really nice beer. But he moved back to Chicago, and he used to live in Alameda. So
is he secret group beer?
Is he? What do you mean? The secret beer group?
Yeah, is he secret group beer guy? Patrick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So, yeah, I'm glad that he got to move back to Chicago. It just sucks that we never got to really hang out. We got to see each other kind of in passing because of this COVID-19 bullshit. I got to see him beating up a goddamn shit. I'm blanking on the goddamn heavy bag. Jesus Christ. I was picking up a beer, but that's the first time I actually got to meet him. But we couldn't talk for very long. I wish he lived here for longer so we could hang out for longer. But sometime in life we'll meet again and have more than a few beers together. Probably with one of the Brothers in Craft Brews like meetups or something like that. We'll hang out, have some beers.
Whenever I hear from about somebody being from Chicago, I automatically ask if they're West Side or South Side, and like it always seems like it's one or the other. But you can in the chat.
Yeah, he'll be in the chat for a while. It's late his time now, but
like 2 hours ahead.
He got out just in time because now fucking California's on fire. So I think he started the fire. I'm just saying the fire started right after he left. So I'm just saying.
How about burning bridges?
Suspect. Yeah, not the lightning at all. Just him. Okay, just him.
We don't have Old Ninja, who usually pours out some type of malt beverage with respect. I didn't recall any celebrity or even D-list celebrity ones. So I think we can bypass that segment unless anybody has one that just came on the docket.
I mean, a bunch of people are dying that are not famous, but we don't know their names. So I mean, we were at 176,000 people dead from COVID at this point in time. So just so many people fucking dying at this point, you can't even, it's hard to keep count.
Yep.
It's incredible. And we have like this fucking clown on TV talking about, numbers are going down. They're not going down. No. They keep going up. It's not subsiding. You can say that, 80% of the counties in America are having low numbers, are going down. But guess what? 80% of the counties in America are fucking full of people. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's like the people are they're clustered in certain counties in America, and we all know this. Anybody with any kind of goddamn intelligence, and that's where this shit is hitting hard. Yeah, in bumfuck fucking Idaho, you're not getting hit hard because guess what? You already live fucking 3 miles from your neighbor.
Yeah.
I'm not like trying to shit talk on your life. I think it's awesome that you can live 3 miles away from your neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. I live fucking. I could throw a rock. Not even a rock. I could throw a kettlebell at my neighbor. You know what I mean? So they're right there. And I live in a part of California where we're a little bit more spaced apart. We're not as on top of each other, but still, I can throw a kettlebell, a heavy one, and hit their house.
Yep.
So, yeah. So stop listening to that fucking bullshit about how 80% of the counties in America are fucking on the downslope. Like, nobody's fucking living there.
Yeah.
It's like, there's no COVID in the fucking ocean. No shit.
Damn, you might have named the podcast right at the beginning. There's no COVID in the ocean.
I'll write it down. If someone's got something better, I'll bring it up. But
I was just gonna say, I've mentioned it months ago. when you have roughly 1,000 people dying every single day, at the end of a month, it's 30,000 people. So,
Yeah.
you know,
That's a lot of people.
that's how math works, and we will, way before Halloween, hit the dreaded milestone of 200,000 people dead. And nobody wants to
Well,
hear
it's
that
kinda
fact.
crazy.
I'm not happy about it. But way before Halloween, maybe just after fucking Labor Day, we might hit that goddamn number. Which,
Prodigy, to be honest with you, I don't see how the fuck we're gonna stop from getting to 500,000.
yeah,
I don't. Like the path that we're on now, 500,000 it's gonna happen unless we do something drastic. But America, we're being so goddamn stupid. We've been so conditioned to saying freedom, fuck yeah, but we don't understand the actual cost of freedom.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like freedom, I hate to say that stupid ass phrase, but freedom isn't free. And for you to have freedom, it takes some sort of personal sacrifice. And people don't want to make any sort of personal sacrifice. I'm not saying all people, but some of the dumbasses. We've all seen
Yep.
them out there. We've seen videos of these stupid ass motherfuckers that don't want to wear masks in public places because, oh, well, they're wearing masks. Well, the fuck, I got to wear a mask. It's like, I don't know. What the fuck do you wear seatbelts?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, come on, just like, can you keep yourself safe and everybody else?
Yeah.
or helmet, you know.
Yeah.
I mean,
And I don't. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say there's plenty of examples of safety. Even when you go out to a nameless restaurant, the fact that the county the county where you live in has done some type of regular checking if it's been open long enough and said, hey, this is safe for human consumption. You know what I mean? I think that's a good thing. You know, public safety and health.
What's crazy to me is that, like, you know, I listened to the whole, you know, I just used the argument of, like, you know, wearing seatbelts, and you just said helmets, and that's totally valid. But the problem is that, listen, if you don't wear a seatbelt or a helmet, you're not going to eject yourself from the fucking car and kill somebody else. It's highly unlikely. But with COVID-19, it's highly likely, if you want to use the seatbelt or helmet analogy, that if you hit somebody with a car at high speeds, you eject from your car, kill them, and you're just fine.
Yeah.
That's how this analogy would work. And because there's a bunch of people that have this virus where they have no symptoms, they might be okay, and the person that they can come in contact with, because you don't know what pre-existing conditions that they have, they could die.
Yeah.
And people are just like, well, the percentage is so low, but it's like, would you really want to take that risk? I mean, generally speaking, if you shot a gun in the air, you probably won't kill anybody, right? I mean, just through statistics,
Yeah.
you probably won't kill anybody. But should you do it?
Hell
No, because you could kill somebody.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is wrong with people?
Well, it's kind of crazy because, like, there was a study that came out earlier this week, talked about how, like, younger people are the most they're super spreaders, basically, because they don't show symptoms, and they go to, like, they're going back to school, they're back in college, and they're getting the virus and just bringing it back home. Not virus. Is it a virus?
Yeah, virus.
Yeah, they're bringing a virus and bringing it back home, and, like, other people are getting infected, and, like, you know, people aren't taking that shit serious because they think that young people are just immune to it, or they're less likely to die from it, but they're still fucking carriers. They're spreading that shit, which is ridiculous.
It's frustrating.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's just frustrating. I mean, we've talked about it before, and I remember specifically saying, there's no way fucking colleges, especially college football, should be fucking happening. Colleges are petri dishes for this, and you're really seeing stuff from a sports aspect, choosing between money versus public safety, where they're just like, oh yeah, we can field a football team, and then a week later, University of North Carolina can't even fucking hold classes anymore. University of Notre Dame can't hold classes anymore because all of a sudden shit is just blown up and just multiplied like crazy. And it's embarrassing that a portion of the pot, and who cares what percentage it is, but it's a large enough portion of the population that's just being willfully ignorant and stubborn and just arrogant about science and trying to help society in general. It's like, if I were to go to the dentist, and the dentist would be like, yo, you got a cavity, we're going to have to do this and whatever. I'm not going to be like, nah, prove it. You're lying. That's fake. Or whatever. Like,
It's fake news.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't understand where this, well, I do have an idea where this attitude, trusting professionals and what they've gone to school for years and decades doing, and just denying the actual science just because it's something that you might not want to hear or it might inconvenience you. Yeah, I wouldn't.
Well, no.
So yeah, I don't want to have my molar drilled into in a drill, but that's the situation that we're in right now, to keep my whole mouth from fucking rotting out.
No, but I mean, President Trump pulls up a chiropractor that says that COVID-19 is no big deal.
Yeah,
so we're good to go, right? I mean, what the fuck does a chiropractor know what the fuck about infectious diseases? This is what the problem that I have with these silly ass motherfuckers. It's like I'm gonna believe somebody who is a immunologist. I can't even say the fucking word right now.
Immunologist.
Like a virologist, immunologist, or a fucking infectious disease expert, something like that. But if you tell me that you're a fucking chiropractor or a family practice person or, you know, an orthopedic surgeon.
You study voodoo?
Like, okay. Yeah. I mean, first of all, a fucking chiropractor is not a doctor. You can find me on that one. You're not a doctor. You didn't go through fucking 4 years of fucking college to become a doctor. So, and if you look up the chiropractor's bullshit, fuck that. And there's a bunch of other like specializations that you can have that have nothing to do with tracking a virus.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with tracking a virus. So you want to put in your 2 cents, but your 2 cents ain't fucking worth shit when it comes to this. It's like, yeah, congratulations, you're a doctor in that certain field, but that field doesn't really mean shit when it comes to this.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm going to listen to actual qualified experts, and I'm going to read all of the studies that are out there, and not just cherry pick ones that have a very low amount of participants and that ignore a bunch of other data out there. So if y'all want to cherry pick shit, you can die on your own.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm staying my ass at home.
Well,
I'm not fucking interacting with you.
I'm glad
But the Pillow King CEO said I could take this medicine though.
Yeah.
Yeah, another fucking invalid ass person.
I love
You got fucking
Anderson Cooper basically just saying, motherfucker, you're a snake oil salesman. The fuck out of here.
I love that shit.
Come on now. Anyway,
Ninja.
Running on Rage.
Hold on, real quick. Ninja. Nope, can't hear you. He's there. He's waving. Still no audio though.
We can't hear you for shit.
Just unplug your headset. Doesn't your fucking laptop have a microphone?
You probably get feedback.
Just unplug it.
We can't.
Nope, still can't hear you.
Yeah.
Jesus
Like
Christ, he's an upside down.
Yeah, he knows what he did.
What's kind of interesting, piggybacking off what Kronos had said, like there's a scientific method of how to run these tests with having people come in and if the vaccine works on 25 people, that's not a fucking case study. You need way more people to be able to verify that this shit's gonna fucking work. You need at least over 1,000 to get a good idea of how it will affect the fucking population. And that's stuff you gotta look out for. You have to check that out and make sure everything's legit. But then also you gotta take into account even if you're doing the scientific method, it might actually prove that something's not working, and that should need to be published as well. You shouldn't just nitpick and say oh, this one helped some people, but it killed everybody else, but it worked, and just publish that it worked, and don't include that your foot might fall off if you take this, but you be cured.
Yeah,
Nobody wants to be a guinea pig.
Yeah, well, y'all heard me say it on the fucking in personal chat, but I'll say it on the podcast. When the vaccine comes out, I'm not getting that shit because as a fucking African American man, I don't trust the government with giving me some fucking bullshit ass vaccine right away. And listen, I totally trust vaccines.
Yes.
But I also aren't trying to get fucking syphilis. All right, because that shit happened in the past. So I'll let y'all take that shit first. Y'all be the guinea pigs, and then after y'all show me it's safe, then I'll take it. And this is not a conspiracy theory. This shit really fucking happened.
Yeah.
And then also,
I'm gonna keep my black ass at home.
It's I don't understand why people just don't understand the general risks of shit. They just want to believe these dumbass motherfuckers.
Yeah.
You can't rush science, and you especially can't rush science when it comes to determining long-term moron.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I was going to get to. Thank you for bringing me back to that. So President Trump keeps talking about how, we're going through all these trials so quickly. And it's okay. He's never before have we seen trials go through this so quickly. So there's two things about this. Yes, there's two things about this. The first thing is that he's so fucking stupid he doesn't understand how technology works. So yes, technology will generally speed up things over time. So yeah, it will speed up trials and how you get shit done. But second of all, he's totally ignoring the fact that if you speed things up, there's a high chance that you might fuck it up at the cost of human lives. So please take your time and do the proper testing. Because what I just said is valid that you can speed up things through technology, but there are still going to be mistakes.
Yep.
And I don't want me or my family or any of my friends to be part of that mistake. So take your time, do proper trials. Don't let some stupid ass man on TV make you speed up or believe that speeding up this vaccine is going to be beneficial to you because it'll help the economy. Fuck the economy.
Yes.
Fuck the economy, okay? Human lives are more important than the economy. Don't you find it strange that when President Trump comes on TV, he touts about the economic numbers and not the fucking human lives lost? It's because he stole our money, our tax money, to give it to the corporations. It's artificially inflated.
Yep.
So please stop listening to him about the fucking economy. Fuck all that shit. We need to live. If we don't live, there is no economy.
Period. Real quick. Just for those who are listening, who may want to do some more research into something that Kronos alluded to correctly. One of the best examples ever is to look up the Tuskegee experiments. Some people have heard about it. Some people have fucking not. It's okay. I'm not blaming you if you haven't fucking heard of it. There is dozens of books on it. It's real. It happened. Look it up. If you want those book recommendations, I'll send them to you offline. But the Tuskegee experiments are one of the most atrocious examples of literally the government saying, fuck black people, we're going to experiment on you Nazi style, basically, and not caring about any human life when it comes to a black life. So look at it.
Does Agent Orange fall in that?
Say again?
I was saying that is Agent Orange part of that process? Because I know.
No, that's the Vietnam War. This Tuskegee Airmen was like World War II.
Yeah.
Agent Orange was in Vietnam War. It's a deforestation agent. So, Prodigy, I want to ask you something real quick.
Sure.
Should we, since we obviously all of us read like a shitload of books.
Is that Old Ninja? What is Old Ninja doing?
I think he's just fucking.
What do you mean? What am I doing?
You're like fumbling with something.
Fumbling with shit.
Oh, I have a mute button. I can mute.
Okay.
Well, when you hit
Sorry,
you sound better, but just be careful when you're
Go ahead,
pressing the
Kronos.
microphone, so it's all distraction.
Jesus Christ. You sound better, but be careful when you fiddle with that microphone because you're touching like the mic.
Oh, yeah. The mic.
We can hear you much better though. So
Really?
thank you.
Yeah, I had to go remote. I'm outside in the smoke.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I'm outside.
Why do you gotta go outside?
I'm outside with the fire. What's up?
No.
But you live in a house. Oh, Ninja, why are you going outside?
Oh, because one, it's cooler outside than inside my house, and two, they're watching a movie inside. It's really loud, so
Good.
Well, fuck them. You're doing a podcast.
I'm aware.
Don't go down this rabbit hole. Don't you go down the Old Ninja rabbit
I
hole.
forgot what I was gonna say.
We got old Ninja on the street.
What the fuck are we talking about?
You were talking about Tuskegee or something or books.
Oh yeah, I wanted to ask you. Should we just do like so we have a website which I haven't updated in like forever.
Yeah.
Should we just do a section like book recommendations?
That'd
be a good idea.
Recommendations in general.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
We can also
know,
add it
those-
to our Facebook page as well. You just put that on.
Yeah.
We can also have like
We had
comics and movies as well, and TV shows. Just always talk
Yeah.
about them. But I mean, I know
We
that's
got
work.
like a. No, it's fine.
I had a
We have a
question
long
for,
list of like.
for the group.
Good.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, we're all like fucking word salad right now. How many like teachers, like I guess black teachers, did you guys have going from kindergarten through maybe pre-high school?
Dude, that's
you can
way too
remember.
One.
many years.
Oh,
One, and I
zero.
was
Zero.
Okay.
and I was a dick.
Zero.
Okay, I was at 0 also.
What? I had like about at least 10.
What?
10 black teachers? What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, because he was in EPA.
I
So
grew up
it
in
makes-
EPL
makes
also.
sense.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh man, I remember my music teacher. She was black, Miss Johnson. Oh god, her life was denied.
Was she hot? Was she hot?
Dude, she was.
Oh, damn.
For those in the chat, people in the chat can answer that question also, because I'd be interested to see if because I know I had zero, but I don't know if it's like maybe a generational thing, if that's maybe changing as time has progressed through when we were like going through school in like the 80s, 90s. So I'd be kind of interested to see if maybe that has anything to do with certain
I know what
aspects
in high school. In high school, I didn't have a black teacher. Like I can't think of one. But in middle school and elementary school, I had black teachers.
Well, it's generally pretty rare, even though, this is funny because, Prodigy's mom was a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously she was a black teacher. But, and she taught me a lot. So if I can consider her a teacher, I mean, she reinforced to speak, the common tongue. Yeah. And this is why most of us, at least three of us on this podcast, speak the way that we speak is because of her.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I really appreciate that. But yeah, when I was in junior high, that guy named Mr. Costin, he was he's a black male, great dude, but I was an asshole. I was a class clown. I was listen, you
kept it real.
You get in the best, you're getting the best version of Cronus right now. When I was a kid and like a teenager and like a young, like my 20s and shit, I was a fucking dick. I was an asshole. Like, I didn't give a shit about anything. So I got put in, suspensions and in-house suspension and all that shit like all the time when I was a kid. I was definitely not the person that you see today. And if I could if he's still alive today, I would love to sit down and like talk with him. He's somebody that should have been like an inspiration to me, but also fucking retarded that I didn't get that this guy was like one of the very few black male teachers to exist anywhere. I gave him no respect.
Damn.
I gave no teachers any respect. I just lumped them all in the same fucking thing. But I was already jaded to school at that point. So it wasn't his fault. It was just me. It was me. I was an asshole.
Dude,
how do I reach these kids?
It's funny that you said that. I remember in middle school, I got in trouble, and my teacher had asked me how to spell my mom's name, and I didn't know how to spell my mom's name. This is 8th grade. It's 7th grade, and I didn't know how to spell my mom's name. And I told her it's spelled M-O-M, and he was like, "Wait, you don't know how to spell your mom's name?" I'm like, "No, I don't." And literally, he had me write 500 times on the fucking chalkboard. Like, this is like old school stuff. He made me write my mom's name. Like, he had me go to the office, look at my emergency card, find out how my mom's name is spelled, and have me come back to the class and spell out my mom's name on the board. And ever since then, like, I know how to spell my mom's name.
So, you know what's hilarious? So this is something that me and K-Mac talked about. Because when I was a kid, like, I didn't know what my mom or stepdad or I didn't know either of their names for like a long time.
Yeah.
To what I'm realizing now, like, way too long of a time. Like, they were just mom and dad.
Yep.
And so K-Mac was like, when Riley learned my name, she was like, it's important that she knows your name. And I was like, I'm dad. What the fuck are you talking about? And she's like, no, like, when there's an emergency, like, who is she going to tell is her dad? I'm just like, God damn, you got a fucking point. All right, so, yeah, we got to, like, tell, like, my name and, like, let her know. Just, like, Lunch doesn't call him by my first name, but it's just, like, I didn't understand that until she brought it up, that it's actually really important to know your parents' name.
Yeah,
and I feel fucking totally stupid about that.
You know who had no trouble with that? All the Jackson 5. Like, they just called him Joseph, and you know what I mean? It was all good. Did y'all see that miniseries, or am I dating myself?
Yeah,
Wait, hold on.
He wasn't really a dad, though.
Isn't that why he beat them, though? Is because they kept saying his name or not?
No, he told them to call him that.
Yeah, old man Joseph Jackson, yes, he was an abuser, but, but they did know his name was Joseph.
That's terrible. I'm sure Ike's kids know his name was Ike, too.
God damn, you had to bring up Ike. Yes.
Actually, did Ike beat his kids? I just thought he beat his wife.
I mean, everybody. I could beat your ass right now.
I never shied down from an ass whooping for somebody. You know what I mean? The saddest thing is, we've gone all over the place, but the saddest thing about Ike Turner, I always say, is that he's actually one of the most important early rock and roll musicians. And of course, that is always going to be overshadowed, rightly so, by him being an abusive piece of shit. But it's also at the same time this sad thing of like, hey, this is one of the early pioneers of this music that became this dominant Western pop phenomenon. But you can't give him any credit for it because he's a wife beater. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
that's terrible.
Sad, but true. I feel the same way anytime like I'm trying to I'll watch like a Michael Jackson video. My daughter loves Michael Jackson videos, and I'm just like, this is problematic, but she's fascinated, and the songs are so good. I feel like such a scumbag for just like willfully ignoring it, and I might just be like, you know what, I'm a piece of shit for enjoying his music still.
It's
I
good
can't help
music.
it.
It's good music.
Videos or whatever. I mean, especially you guys all saw that 4K video with the 60 frames a second thing.
I did.
Dude, that shit was wild.
I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, you can see like the jam gel that he has slicked on the side of his hair to keep his hair down and shit. Like it's fucking super detailed.
Well,
Yeah.
Moonwalker, you have to give credit for its time. We had never seen
awesome.
any shit like that. Like that was
He turned into a fucking car.
yeah. there
And then he turns into a giant fucking robot.
there was CGI. There was like claymation. There was some of the baddest dance moves we've ever seen. There was a Sega Genesis and an arcade game after it.
Yes.
He was everywhere. Like that was it. You know, iconic as fuck.
You know, okay, so I'm gonna break it. This is what was awesome about living in that point in time at our age with Michael Jackson, is that you'd watch Michael Jackson's videos, and you were like, "That's a fucking music video I would fucking make." It was so ridiculous. Like he made a movie about like a kid making a movie.
Yes.
That's why he was fucking awesome. And he, don't get me wrong, Michael Jackson had problems. He had serious fucking problems. But when we were kids, we didn't know about none of that shit. All right, so when Thriller came out, when any of his fucking music videos, he caught any of them came out, you were just like, holy shit. And Moonwalker came out like in the 80s. I think it was the 80s, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Late 80s.
Late 80s, early 90s, something. Yeah.
I want
It
to
was
say
an event.
87, 88. Oh yeah, it was an event.
Yeah, it was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
It was fucking amazing.
Dude, I have a copy.
And I didn't rewatch it, but I think that it's sad that like his legacy was so tainted by his own personal issues, and I don't know whether or not I don't put him on R. Kelly level because I don't see kids coming out saying that yes, he definitely raped me. At least that I've seen so far. Have you guys seen any of those reports?
No.
Not from the then children per se, but
Yeah.
I haven't gone looking on the internet either.
Yeah.
I don't want that in
put
my
my head in
Google
the sand.
search.
I put the head in my
Yeah,
head in the sand on that.
He definitely did some creepy ass like shit you shouldn't do, like sleeping with kids, like in the same bed. I'm like, definitely don't do that shit.
Mm-hmm.
But he wasn't pissing on kids and fucking them like R. Kelly was. So
And belittling them and keeping them locked up in rooms and fucking not feeding them and
Yeah,
threatening their life.
Yeah.
Sex then?
yeah, but it's still a tainted history.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But yeah, he made some badass music and some badass like just media shit. Dude.
You know what's so weird to me, and it's not fair to him at all, but like, I picture myself with that much fame and fucking power, and I would just be in nothing but trouble. Like I'd be swimming in WAP or all the time.
Yeah.
He had different sensibilities, to say the least. Like besides the Elvis's daughter marriage and a few other like here and there things, like you didn't
Like
see
the
Michael
kid?
with like a
His
whole
own
harem
kid?
of bad ones.
Oh
Go
yeah.
ahead.
Well, I mean, you were saying about the whole marriage thing. His 3 kids is always in bad light, I should say. It's always questionable. There's people like, oh, those
They
are
were
his
adopted.
kids. Those aren't really his kids. Whoa, 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 whoa. But
Wait a minute.
They were adopted.
Oh, Ninja,
Wait a
somebody
minute.
in the chat
Hold
room.
up.
Wait. Oh, Ninja, somebody in the chat room asked, "Are you in a horror movie right now?" It's
Goddamn.
Beck.
oh yeah, yeah.
Goddamn.
If you're in California right now, most of the Bay Area is on fire, and I'm sitting outside, and
Yeah.
so I'm like, it's all smoke from these fucking fires from around the area. So yeah, I guess I am. Well, 2020 is a horror movie. There you go.
But here's real
you-
quick
you-
on my MJ's kids. Look here.
They look like them now. Like that.
They aren't his biological kid. Adopted, sure. Raised by him, absolutely. I'm fine with that. But go back to what Michael Jackson looked like in the 1970s and early 80s.
Yes.
That he has a wide ass nose, thick nappy hair. MJ is not the one that you saw in '02 and late '90s or whatever with all the plastic surgeries and whatnot. You can't change your DNA, even if he hooked up with a white woman and had a kid. No, I'm sorry. Not all three of them would be looking exactly like that. No.
Well, what's hilarious to me is that this is one of the things that I've recently realized about, like discrimination and racism in America is that if you're of African descent, like getting those genes like semi-washed out, it's not 1, 2, 3 generations.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a while, and that's the reason why it's been like so pervasive with racism in America. Like listen, if you're of like Latin descent, if you're of almost any other descent except maybe even Asian, it's still, you can get a little more,
racist,
quote unquote, acceptable features to racist people. So it's way easier to wash out like your ethnic group and be accepted as quote unquote white.
Wow.
But if you're of African, no, it's like for real.
No.
Like,
I'm gonna add to this when you keep going. I got something to add.
Yeah, I mean, like that's why people, they don't understand. They're like, well, why do immigrants in America have such a better time than African Americans? It's like, well, the obvious reason is like, listen, if you're from fucking Europe, you're gonna be accepted as white into like white culture, like pretty much right away until you speak and you don't speak the language, but you're still accepted. You know what I mean? If you're of Latin descent, I forget the statistics, but it's like within like 2, 3 generations, if they mix with somebody that's of European descent, on the census, they will say that they're Caucasian and they pass as Caucasian.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're somebody of African descent, like it doesn't take 1, 2 generations for you to not look, of African descent anymore. It takes more than that. It takes multiple mixes. So that's the reason why that people of African descent have had such a difficult time with integrating into America, because America has had like this crazy racist culture where if you have certain, features on your face or certain skin tones, you can't escape those. And because of the way that our genes are so pervasive, like you're not going to escape it for a while, and you shouldn't have to. But other ethnicities, they just want to like be so dismissive of, oh, we can make it, my family makes it now. We're in America, but it's like because you're passing as somebody that you're not, and that's the honest truth. You're trying to pass as somebody that you're not.
But
And
that's like in the what's name book, they talked about how like you can be mixed, but if one of your features stands out way more than others, that's what you are. Like if you're black and white and you look more black, you're black. Like that's it. That's bottom line. Like with Kamala Harris or whatever her name is. Like
Condoleezza Rice?
No, the one that's the vice president with Joe Biden.
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris.
Yeah, come on.
Like she's been touted as being like the first black vice president, but it's like no, she's mixed. She's like Indian and Jamaican. Like she's not just black. Like they just throw the black out there to like as like a bait or something to get people to get them talking. But she's fucking mixed.
Same thing with Obama.
I will give.
What is the name of Obama?
I will give the media credit, at least the liberal media credit right now, at least CNN. They're at least touting her now as a mixed vice president, as mixed, African descent and mixed Indian descent, that's what she is. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever.
No.
I think it's fucking awesome. But the fact that when she was on the Senate floor and when she first got elected to be a senator, they touted her to be as the first Indian, senator ever. And then when she became presidential candidate, she ran as the first, African American woman candidate. It's like, just say that you're mixed. It's fine. Like, what the fuck is wrong with just saying that you're a mixed person? Like the fact that she decided to just pick like the word of the day for her, whatever would give her the most recognition at the time. That's what fucking bothers me.
Well, let's get into Old Ninja. Old Ninja wanted to get in prior.
Yeah, I wanted to jump back about what Kronos was talking about, how multi-generational like phasing of African features. Have any of you seen the film Rabbit Proof Fence? So
No.
Yeah, so basically it was this like Australian like thing.
Aboriginals?
Yeah, they're trying to phase out Aboriginal like features by merging them with the white, like their white populace. So that way they showed literally a chart on how to phase out the Aboriginal features to where they would be more white and how many generations
That's
it
gonna
would
take a
take.
while.
They literally had a
Yeah.
chart. The scientist that's on there is played by Kenneth Branagh, and they're basically trying to round up these Aboriginal people and try to get them to like basically interbreed or be cast out. They gave them this weird option. So the film is about these little girls trying to escape these colonizers and make it back to their village. So it's a pretty messed up film, but it's really pretty powerful. And they literally talk about exactly what Cronus was talking about, multi-generational, like dark features, very pronounced features, and how to basically um, alter them to where they're phased out. And it's not a 1-2 process. It literally took several different iterations. So it's pretty interesting
Yeah.
that you brought that
The
up.
only thing I'll add though to that aspect of it, just in terms of American slavery and history and whatnot, is you can't like discredit the fact that slave owners used to just flat out rape, you know, their African slaves,
Yeah.
and so there have always, and I mean always, been mixed babies, you know, on plantations from Africans being over here in this hemisphere. So they were automatically considered black, so that was also a built-in thing to the system itself. And I will say there are people who do struggle sometimes with identity that are biracial. I will say that there are quite a few biracial folks who have trouble fitting in, have trouble deciding, go through different phases in their lives where they say one thing versus saying something later on. I'm just saying that is an aspect of reality for some of them, and I think it's important to throw that into the conversation.
Oh yeah, it's very important.
Yeah,
I think that's
I don't.
I have people in my family that struggle with that as well. And like, are y'all familiar with the singer Halsey? Because I didn't know that her father is African American. He's
I
darker.
know that
He's
shit
as dark
either.
as me. He's as dark
That
as
shit shocked
me.
me.
Yeah, he's dark as hell. And like, she's his daughter. Like, her mom is white, her dad is black, and she comes out. She could pass for a white woman. I would never have known that she was part African American if you look at this person. So I'm pretty sure she probably struggled growing up. I don't know her history or whatnot. I do know that she's from Jersey, but she says, she identifies as white adjacent, I guess. I'm not sure what that term even means, but,
Okay. I don't know.
there are
Yeah.
people out there.
I mean,
Well, this is.
the biggest example is the Canadian Drake, or obviously Barack Obama. I mean,
Well,
Bob Marley.
I thought you were
This
going to
goes
say
on and
Rachel
on.
Dozer. You better
Well,
not say Rachel Dozer.
I kind of wonder because Rasan's daughter is biracial, and I wonder how.
Whoa!
how her
Who
life
used
is.
I don't
government?
know who's that. Who's that person? I've never even heard of that dude.
Shit.
What were you trying to ask?
I had this friend, and his name is something of another. No, because I wonder because I know. Damn, I hella fucked up. It's been a while since I actually dropped wrong names.
You've been drinking.
Strong beer.
But no, Cronus' daughter is biracial, and I kind of wonder how she gets because right now she's just in a state that's not
A red
very-
state. Say
Yeah,
red.
red state.
Red
Yeah.
No, actually, it's not a red state.
Really?
Like not red state anymore.
No, it hasn't been a red state for a while. Like,
Yeah.
But I just wonder how
the
kinda
governor
wonder-
is.
I kind of wonder how her life
Yeah.
has been because she's biracial and she has some of your features, but she has some of her mom features too. And it's like, does she have issues with identifying with like who she is?
Well, so yes and no. Mostly no though. So it was definitely not an issue when she lived in California because obviously here in California, we used to live in Escondido, California, and she went to a pretty good school, and it was totally mixed school. Like there wasn't like a overwhelming majority of one ethnicity or another. It's very well mixed. But then when she moved to Michigan, before they moved, I was like, listen, like when you move there, they're gonna look at they're not gonna look at you the same as people look at you here, and so you need to recognize that you might catch some shit from people living there because you're mixed. Because you went to rural Michigan, which is like, I don't think there's not a whole lot of white places it's one of the whitest places in America.
Mm.
It's like rural Michigan, like just one of the parts too. But it's just like, yeah, for her, like when she first moved there, it was kind of rough for her to assimilate into that, whole thing. But she got over it after a while. But yeah, it was just like having to have the conversation with her about that kind of stuff. Like kind of early in life. It's just like, but I didn't expect to have the talk with her because I expected her to live in California, where these things were not going to be as much of an issue. But once she went to Michigan, it's like, yeah, we had to have a talk about it, and it wasn't comfortable, but she understood, and she still went through some things, but she was okay. And for the most part, they kind of and where she lives now is like a little bit more mixed, but it's still mostly European Americans.
Yep.
It is what I wish that
I
these
wouldn't have a
issues didn't
problem.
exist.
Oh, sorry.
No, I mean, Stitch, you're gonna have similar problems.
Mhm.
Here in California, it's gonna be fine, but I mean, your kid's
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
pass
I'm
as a
sorry. I
different
didn't.
ethnic group. Yeah. So I was gonna pass it off to you anyway. But yeah, you're gonna see when Storm grows up, she's gonna have issues with passing as a different ethnic group than she actually is. So yeah.
Yeah, I sort of touched on it a little bit, I guess, at the end of the cast last week, with I guess how that whole thing will as the years progress. Based on like some of the friends that I've kind of talked to that I grew up with that definitely were mixed, they've talked about having that whole like identify kind of thing and happen where people want them to like choose a side, especially like when they ended up the person I talked to specifically, especially when she ended up going off to college and stuff. With the Kamala Harris saying, I mean, I don't know her experience with that as she progressed through life. It's something that's unique, and I don't think I'd feel comfortable drilling somebody on that or saying like, well, why didn't you say at this time that you were black or at this time you were Indian and everything like that. I mean, I think it's a kind of like a minefield in terms of like when you want to pick and choose that. My whole thing is like, as Storm gets older, if somebody asks her like, oh, or like, and they just don't know, and they're like, oh, are you white? And she says, yeah, and then just leaves it at that. I'm not gonna fit. Or somebody says, are you black? He says, yeah, like I'm not gonna have a problem with that either. I mean, she is both. I don't. She doesn't need to give a whole like narrative or a whole like forward on her ethnic percentages when somebody asks her like if she is one race or the other or what she might be mixed with. They could ask her like, oh, are you Italian or something like that? And she'd be like, no, or whatever. She doesn't. I don't feel like she needs to constantly defend her blackness or her whiteness. I mean, she is what she is, and however she wants to identify, as long as she's not pretending that she isn't, then I don't have a problem with her just answering a simple question if somebody poses it to her. Like that's her identity, and I don't feel it's my place. At least as she gets, maybe when she gets older, she can go into and dealing with that on herself. Like as she gets to be like 18, 17, teenage years and stuff like that, she can defend herself and defend her or explain her ethnic background however she wants to. But as long as she's not denying it, then I don't really have a problem how she answers a specific question about it.
I think that's fair. I still would love to, as she gets older, and obviously with Kronos' experience as a father as well. I want to hear more discussions from both of you about that. I mean, I think you've seen obviously my kids as well, who are not mixed, but I'm going to confess that Artie is going to be confused for mixed with certain people at times.
Mhm.
Because I got some of that growing up, but it is what it is.
So
Do you want to? Oh, go ahead.
Well, that's the weird thing. Is because like I mean, technically we're all probably all of us are mixed. I mean, I know that me and Prodigy are mixed, but I mean, I'm mixed, but it's like it's not that much. Like, and it's from like Jesus generations ago.
Yeah.
And I think most people they think that I'm like way more Caucasian than I actually am because I speak a certain way and because my skin tone isn't as dark. But so, first of all, I don't with the English thing, we already explained that. It's like I speak a common tongue. It's the way it's gonna be. It's the way it's always gonna be. Second of all, the reason why my skin tone is this is because I don't get a fucking lot of sun. All right, because I'm a nerd.
Oh, damn.
Like seriously, like if I was outside more, you would see me darken up like considerably. Like when I was in the Marine Corps, I was significantly darker when I was outside. I wasn't as dark as like old ninja, but I was definitely way darker. But I sit inside all day. You know.
Pretty dark.
It's funny right now. I'm sharing for my wedding, the sweetness and I, we did the 23andMe DNA test, and I'm showing right now the map of where I'm from, basically where my bloodline is. And as you can see, most of the maps other than like the India, Australia, and like kind of the Chinese area, but like this is all me. This is through the DNA test.
Got that Greenland in you.
I know.
I do. I got Greenland. I got Italy up in me. I got Norway.
Nobody fucking lives there.
We got to switch it up a little bit.
Yes.
Lovecraft Country, HBO's brand new series. We've been, I think, cautiously excited about this one for a little while. First of all, because it's 2020 and there's not a whole lot of new shows and certainly not a whole lot of movies or theaters not being open. But this one was kind of highly anticipated. Who wants to set it up in terms of this? I call it a pilot, but the first episode, whatever you want to call it. Old Ninja or Kronos, go ahead.
Don't matter.
Do you want to talk about it? You haven't talked for a while. So.
Just before I set this up, I want to say that I think the reason why this is high profile because this is a Jordan Peele and J.J. Abrams produced show. So we have no idea what kind of craziness was going to happen, and we kind of got a little bit of that. So basically, the show is set up in, it looks like the 1950s, but it doesn't exactly give you an exact date. We do know that the main character has come back from war. He's on his way to Chicago on the bus, and we see. Go ahead.
I believe the Korean War, just real quickly. I think it was the Korean War.
It was the Korean? Does it even say?
Yeah,
I mean, when we first start, though, we have this weird, like, it's like a trench war. And it looks like a flashback where our main character is in the war, he's fighting, and he comes out the trenches, and then...
I thought it was World War II.
Yeah, I thought it was World War I as well, but when he comes out
the Korean War...
Two.
When he's talking with his uncle, his uncle says, "Yeah, when you went off to Korea that first year, your dad talked about you the entire year or whatever." He's like, he would bring you, he would wait till I brought you up and stuff because I thought it was World War II, but when I rewatched it today with Lilo, it was Korean War.
Okay, but when we see this dream sequence of Homeboy coming out of the trenches, we see all kinds of craziness on the battlefield. We have like spaceships on the far right. We have freaking Cthulhu that comes out, and then he gets split in half by Jackie Robinson. We see a Princess of Mars. Basically, we see like a red person, a red woman beam down from the stars, and it's Jamie Chung.
Not Red Bone.
Not Red Bone. It's a red female played by Jamie Chung, who basically embraces our hero or our main character, and we're like, what's going on here? She's very attractive. But then there's all this creatures and lasers and shit blowing up behind me, and then dude wakes up, and I was just like, well, I'm glad that really wasn't like the beginning, because I needed all kinds of context to find out what the hell was going on. But we see that he's come back from war. He's on his way to Chicago. We see that, the first scene that we see, which I think was very, very hit home kind of thing, especially what's going on now, is that our main character and he sees another African-American woman. They have to sit in the back of the bus.
Real quickly, just for reference in terms of the main character that you keep alluding to, they call him Tick, but it's Atticus Freeman. Go ahead.
Okay. Mr. Freeman. I wonder if he's related to Huey and Riley Freeman. If you don't know that reference from the Boondocks. But anyway, so Atticus is in the back with another African American woman. They sit in the back of the bus and they're talking about, they're talking about certain things. And literally, I'm like, well, is this like a historical blurred? Because this guy's talking about, he's reading A Princess of Mars. He's talking about how he loves like sci-fi and all this stuff. And then he's like coming back from war. I'm like, wait, is Cronus in this movie? Like, what's going on here? Did they like chronicle his life? Is this character based off of Cronus? I wasn't quite sure. And then like he starts talking about Fudas and stuff, and I'm like, oh, Prodigy's up in this shit too? Like, how did this work out? But they're on the bus on the way to Chicago. They're sitting in the back of the bus. Bus breaks down, so they have this truck come up and pick up all the white folks. All the white people end up getting in the truck, and then the two African American people, they have to walk. And we know that they're in Kentucky because they passed the Kentucky borderline. So they got to walk from wherever they are past the Kentucky border all the way to Chicago. I'm like, whoa, this is how this show is going to be like. I'm like, okay. We find out that Atticus comes home. He finds out his dad's missing. So he wants to go and he wants to find out where his dad, he gets the help of his uncle. He sneaks into his uncle's house, lets everybody know, surprises him like, hey, I'm back in town. My dad's been missing. He's are you going to go look for your dad? Yeah, I'm going to go look for my dad. My dad's in Lovecraft country. And I'm like, well, what's going on with this Lovecraft country stuff? Is this like they're a bunch of like Hicks or something? Or are they Ku Klux Klan? Because you can tell that they're very, very like reserved and kind of afraid of this area, right? So then, like, they plan their night. They're going to go search for his dad. They go to this, like, block party. And then at the block party, we have this, like, we have Journey Smouye show up to the party. She's back in town. We find out, some information about her. She's trying to stay with her sister. She's trying to, like, find some work and whatnot. And then her and her sister kind of get into it because I guess she missed out on her mom's funeral, which we find out. She doesn't come home for her mom's funeral, but she came home because she needs work, basically needs her money. So that causes a little rift with her and her sister. So they end up basically, I guess, Atticus and what the hell's her name? I can't remember her name.
Letty.
Is it Letty? Letitia, right? Yeah.
Yeah, they call her
Letty for
Letty
short.
Lewis.
Yeah, they call Letty for short. She remembers Tick from when he was like a scrawny. They literally describe him as a young scrawny nerd, glasses, suspenders, overalls, and like really weird and stuff. And all of a sudden, he comes back from war and he's ripped. He's like super ripped, and so she's all like, "Hey, let me go find out what's up with our old boy. He seems like he grew up. He may have cock and balls now." She talks to him. They catch up a little bit, and then like she finds out they're going off on this journey. She's like, "I want to come too." They're like, "All right, sure, you can come with us." And what? The uncle, he comes in. We see like his Atticus's cousin. She's like writing a comic, which is to me unheard of at this time. Like a young African American girl writing a comic, which her parents are not discouraging her. They're not saying, hey, don't do this. Her dad's like, I want to see the adventures of your next character or whatnot. She's all, oh, okay, Dad, I'm going to do this for you or whatnot. So I was like, whoa. They're not saying you need to do stuff that'll get you like a job in this area, like be a seamstress or work at a department store or whatnot. No, follow what you're doing, be creative, and we support you. And I was like, oh, that was different for me. I didn't think they were going to do that. Go ahead.
Real quick, when the sisters, Letty and her sister, are talking, it's very clear what Black women especially are allowed to do in this time period. And it was clean white folks' house or maybe do some gig economy singing on the side. But the sister was like, hey, I've been trying to get a job at the department store. That ain't happening. And it ain't going to happen for you either.
I would say she was...
Do they have all the episodes out at once, or do they have
just one
at a time?
One episode.
Yeah. I noticed she was dressed in a sort of a eye open than I expected for that time period, and I thought that
Which
was
one, Letty or the sister?
Letty. Oh no, yeah, Letty. Letty was just like that. That kind of like stuck out to me a little bit as like eyebrow raising because that seemed a little bit like out of place. to be like that short with the shorts. That looked like some 1980s, 1990 garb or whatever in the 1950s, slightly.
No, so it looked like it was error correct mostly for me. You have to remember that most fashion is cyclical. For a lot of times, like if you think about remember when we were in the 90s, we brought back a lot of like the 70s stuff.
Bell bottoms.
And then now in the 2000, like late 2010s, early 2020s, they're bringing back like the same sort of style. So it's a cyclical thing that they bring back the same old fucking fashion. It's really weird.
But it sounds like Stitch. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but are you saying she was dressed too provocative for the era? Is that what you're alluding to?
I thought she was highly provocative for somebody who was in the South. I don't want to say deep South because I mean Kentucky's still the South, but for somebody in the segregated South to be a red bone, attractive woman wearing that, I was like,
but you see,
especially in I mean.
Yeah.
That is what kind of, and her sister was like, oh, you better be wearing some shorts underneath that or something like that. So it was kind of like touched upon, but I thought it was like, I thought it was maybe a little bit, I don't know. It kind of stood out to me as like, it seems like she's pushing it a little bit extra with her outfit in that aspect, especially to know like what everybody else was wearing. But I understand, yeah, she's coming from Chicago down there, but I thought it was a little bit kind of extra cavalier.
Maybe, perhaps. I mean, maybe they did that on purpose because I forgot. Do y'all remember where she was coming from? Because she was out somewhere and came back home because wherever she was at didn't work out.
Wait, hold on. This is what's hilarious. So, like, what Stitch just said is funny because I remember when me and K-Mac came to Louisiana for your wedding, and people were looking at us like when we went to I think we went to some fucking restaurant. They looked at me and came back like we were fucking aliens, and I was like, for real, bro, if this is like we're in the 2000s, like what the fuck?
It would have had to been social, but I don't remember what it was you guys were wearing.
No, it wasn't the social. I think it was the Waffle House or something like that. But it was just like people were just like. Oh. K-Mac noticed like people stopped and they were just like, what the fuck?
Are you sure it wasn't the white black thing?
No, that's definitely what it was.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying though, is like this is not new. This is how people are in the rest of America, but the South is like so far behind that they don't understand this even exists. And it's like totally strange for her. And for me, I didn't really give a shit because I see it when she doesn't see it here in California from like the opposite side. But when she saw it from like the other side, she was like, "Oh shit!
Yeah,
like what the fuck?"
So essentially, you had the incident that happened later on in the episode in like the diner.
Maybe. Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, we didn't get ran out.
Yeah,
but you know.
Well, I don't want us to like literally ruin the entire episode for somebody that hasn't checked it out yet. So I don't want. I appreciate the in-depth review, but I still want people to like go check it out. So I don't want to fully spoil.
Well, there's a point where it takes a left turn. I don't want to.
Yeah, we don't have to. I do want to touch about the diner.
Left turn. I don't want
to. Like I haven't watched the series yet, but you know I don't have HBO Access Gold Plus or whatever the fuck it's called. But I'm gonna check it out in some kind of memes because it sounds like
I'm about to say. I mean, it's the internet. The internet is bountiful. There are out there that you can watch it. I'll put that out there. But I do want to talk about.
I actually think the first episode is available on YouTube.
Nice.
I think.
Okay.
I think it is. Let me double check to make sure.
Sure. So we're going to talk about really quick the diner scene, which we just briefly talked about. So basically, the uncle, Tick, and Letty, they set off on this basically an adventure. They're going to go look for Tick's dad, and then they stop in this super small town. Like the town is probably like 3 football fields long, and they walk into this restaurant where there's two white people that are in there. One's behind the counter, one's a patron. They both their jaws literally hit the floor when they walk in, and they're just like, what are y'all doing here? But they don't say this. They don't say anything. They stare at them. And so the uncle's talking, which is played by Courtney B. Vance, by the way. He's just like, hey, we'd like to be served. Do you mind if we, sit at the table? And they don't say anything. The people, they don't say nothing. And so they're just like, all right, well, we're going to seat ourselves. So they sit down. The guy that was the patron, he leaves. He literally runs out. The guy that's serving, the waiter, he goes to the back and doesn't come out for a while. So Letty decides to get up and is like, I'm going to use the ladies' room. She goes and she overhears the waiter like on the phone. He's like, came in, they sat down. Go ahead.
You got to have some situational awareness in that thing. I mean, the uncle literally writes guidebooks in terms of like giving like travel guides for safe passage for Negroes to adventure to travel through the South. So I was like, come on, bro. Like you're old head. You know what the fuck's going on. It'd be one thing if like, yeah, we're a freedom rider coming in from the north and we're in south and we don't understand like the clear blown clues like that are going on like at this spot. First of all, the spot is not named the spot that you thought it was. That's sign number one. All right. That doesn't necessarily mean it's all right, cool for us to be here and everything. You walk in, there's no colored section and there's no white section. So that's sign number two. And like
you missed sign number one. That was not sign number one.
Well, yeah.
Sign number one, I think most people.
I didn't see that until you pointed it out to me. So I don't want to take credit for seeing that the building next to it was burned down. I missed that completely.
I saw that shit right away. But right when they pulled up, I was like, that's a burned down building. They done fucked up. And so Quebec was just like, what? I was just like, like this is not gonna go well.
Especially, I mean, the what's it called? Atticus obviously saw the long stare he got from the good old boys at the fire department and everything.
Yeah, that was my clue.
So I'll give him a little bit of a pass or whatever, but old head should have knew because he walked in there and he's supposed to be the wise old man knowing about everything going on. He's just like, oh, we just some passing Negroes. I mean, he didn't say that, but essentially we just want a good old fashioned nice warm meal. We'll sit right here or whatever next to the window fucking seat in the front of the goddamn restaurant. Hell no. I know that shit. Like I was just like, this is bad, and this is just like blatantly bad or whatever. And the waiter came and spit out a sentence. Huh?
Stitch, you got it. Finish out the description of the scene. I want to hear you give out what happens when she sees Homeboy on the phone. Finish it out.
Well, yeah, but I'm just going through like the red flags. I'm colorblind, but I can see a red flag when I fucking see one. But he, as soon as you sit down and you see Homeboy grab his hat and his jacket after staring you down, and he's on a beeline to get the fuck out of the restaurant. Waiter can't even talk to you. He's stuttering and all jammering. You got people walking by the front window breaking their neck as they see you sitting on Boardwalk Park Place in the restaurant or the diner, and then the server doesn't even come back for for an extra long time. It's
extra
like
long.
You got to get it was just blatantly just oblivious. Or it would be like as if I love my wife. It would be as if Lilo transported into my black body and was in the South and did not know anything about what could be possibly bad here or whatever. And then obviously Letty finds out after she ear hustles the conversation, we need to get the fuck out of here. And meanwhile, they have that discussion about the White House.
Well, they talk about the burnt building as well.
Can I add one quick thing? Just for context, though, everybody knows about the South and segregation and all of that going on. The Midwest should not get a fucking pass, and plenty of parts of the East Coast should not get a fucking pass. I believe in this story, if I'm not mistaken, you guys correct me if I am, Lovecraft Country is outside of it's somewhere in rural Massachusetts, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's their destination.
It looks like it's close to Boston. I want to say it's maybe like 100 miles from Boston, maybe
Yeah.
50. But then
Yes.
it's some weird area that I don't know because I don't live on that side. But
Well,
it looks like there's a whole lot of nothing there.
I only point that out because the normal rules of the guidebook and of even the South are spotty. Like there are some sundown counties, sundown cities, and some where maybe you're okay, but this is uncharted territory. So yes, he should have had way more situational awareness. I agree with you, Stitch, but it's not like they were in Mississippi either. And this is some of it is uncharted stuff that is not in the book. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, and they mentioned that too, and that's where when they rolled up originally, and I was like, I'm pretty sure they're supposed to go to the building that was right next to them.
Mm-hmm.
But the address was to like, because he was confused when he first got there,
Yep.
and they were like, well, this has got to be where it's supposed to be at. But I was like, but the building right next to it was burned. So yeah, y'all should just keep rolling, y'all. And yeah, like once he explained, because go ahead.
Isn't in the book like because the author is a white man and he was like super fucking racist because he even named his cat fucking nigger. But isn't most of the characters? Yeah, isn't a character supposed to be like aren't all the characters supposed to be white and like this is just a giant fucking middle finger for all the characters to be black, like the actors to be black?
Yes.
Oh, it's very purposeful.
Yeah, and it's actually one of the reasons why I like this and why a lot of racists will not like this. And while they'll probably, I'm surprised the trolls haven't come out yet. They're gonna come.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very certain. But basically, we stole a history of a racist.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when I say we, I mean like African American people, like not me particularly. But I love that they stole this dude's history and made it into something better than a racist asshole. I mean, don't get me wrong, H.P. Lovecraft, he made some cool stories,
but
but he was also a racist. So
racist.
let's blackwash it.
Also,
a little bit.
The first episode is available on YouTube, so I posted a link in the chat, but you can Google and it's HBO. It's like the YouTube channel is HBO, so it's fucking legit. So the first episode of Lovecraft is available on YouTube.
There you go.
Yeah, and in terms of the production company, I think Old Ninja alluded to this, but obviously you have Monkey Paw Productions, which is what's his name? Jordan Peele, and then it's also Bad Robots, which is J.J. Abrams. And I don't want to confuse him. I believe J.J. Abrams is Jewish.
I have no idea,
no?
And it doesn't matter to me if he is or not. I consume his media, so.
Well, of course, I'm just saying in terms of.
Wait, you
I'm
eat his
nut? In terms of ethnic.
His media, not his nut. You
eat his nut. All right, I got you on Ninja. It's all good. That's what I heard.
Yeah. But in terms of ethnic production companies remixing some historical fiction, I'm all on board. We're not going to spoil too much of it, like you said, like Stitch said, because there's a lot going on here and there's a lot of twists. But here's what I loved about this. You have the setting and you have the historical accurate information about sundown counties and cities and racist areas that are not in Mississippi or Alabama, which is always interesting to me. And I love pointing that fact out. But at the same time, you got some real Resident Evil, Last of Us Part 2 level horror going on here as well. You got some monsters.
Yes, everything that we just said, all right, it's obviously all in the show, but there's a point in the show where it takes a fucking left turn.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and it's fucking very abrupt, and you don't see it coming, and then all of a sudden you're just like, what the fuck am I watching? I'm prepared for this, and you're just like, oh my! I think it's like, I'm not gonna say what the timestamp, but it's like a solid.
Yeah.
I can't because that would
like
give me a timestamp.
25 minutes.
No, don't even say the last. No, don't even tell them like the last whatever, because they're gonna wait for it.
Yeah.
I want them to be surprised when they watched it, because when I was watching, I was like, okay, this is kind of like The Watchmen.
Mm-hmm.
This is really cool. It's like civil rights stuff. Showing some historical fucking facts, and all of a sudden they're about to get something's gonna happen. They're in the woods, and then it's like, what the fuck is happening right now? What the fuck is happening?
So
why are these things happening?
So it literally goes from like a brisk walk to like you stop to one point, and then all of a sudden, full speed ahead, you're running a sprint because everything started happening at once. Everything's all over the place, and you're just like, what the fuck? You have no idea what's coming, and it just keeps going faster. They even bring in a little bit of lore stuff in there really quick, and I'm just like, what the fuck? And then you see it happen, and I'm like, oh shit, and then it just goes even crazier. And I'm looking forward to the rest of this, but to me, what stood out is that it was really eerie on how Atticus resembled like some of the guys on the podcast. Literally, he's like an amalgamation of Cronus and Prodigy in the same freaking body, which was funny. It was hilarious to me because he was like an Army veteran, but he was also a blurred. He was into nerdy stuff. Back then, he was reading old science fiction. Apprentice of Mars is what the movie John Carter is based off of, which is the whole Martian teleportation. He even talks about the story, and she talks about his companion talked about, oh, this story is about a Confederate soldier. So you're talking about a loser who ends up going and becomes a hero on a different planet.
All right, so hold on, real quick. Somebody says anything else? Hold on, real quick, because somebody's getting mad. He's gonna get mad at me because some that Onan just said. I was not a soldier. All right, so all you Marines are listening to this.
I knew it was gonna
I
do
am
it.
a Marine. All right, because people are gonna get fucking mad about that shit. They were like, "You wasn't a fucking soldier." All right, I corrected him. All right, I'm a Marine. Was never a soldier. Calm the fuck down. There you go.
I'm gonna give.
And hold on.
wait.
And I'm saying this because the guy that does the fucking timestamps for this fucking video,
Oh yeah,
he was the Marine that actually partially inspired me to become a Marine, and he's retired now. And if he got to that point in time, he'd be like, "This motherfucker said he was a goddamn soldier."
That's gonna be angry.
There you go.
Shout out to
Yeah, and I learned you never say. I will say you never say somebody was a Marine. They always are.
Yeah, you are.
Whatever. So you never say.
Well,
Yeah, that's something I learned from people.
there's one caveat. Unless you got kicked out of the Marine, if you are not discharged as honorable, then you can say ex-Marine. Where the fuck I am a Marine because I got an honorable discharge. But that's the only caveat that I'll say is that if you were not discharged as honorable,
The question.
you can say ex-Marine or former or whatever.
Do we have a nickname for the guy who does?
The question that I
our
had
timestamps?
about that was
Yes.
no, we
Go
don't.
ahead. Yeah, no, I do. It's
the
double
que-
check, but go ahead.
Okay.
And I don't want to not to get into too much of a spoiler thing, but how did he know the sheriff's name? I watched it twice, and I don't know if I caught that, or if maybe he was responsible.
I thought it was mentioned earlier with Courtney B. Vance when they were doing the research.
Yeah. So
Or Letitia's brother.
Okay.
Or Letitia's brother, one or the other.
when they release, you see a picture of him, and they say his reputation about him being a hard ass, and like all kinds of people are afraid of him. Both like white and black people are like afraid of him, and he's like a hard ass. And it was literally a file his father had. He had left behind. So they talked about it literally right before they leave.
Real quick shout out, and I know we're trying not to do any spoilers or whatever, but I was actually impressed by Journey Smollett. I mean, obviously, I hold that biggest L for I did pump up Birds of Prey. It was a shitty movie, whatever. But she wasn't terrible. Good. She wasn't terrible in it. She was Black Canary. She wasn't terrible. Obviously, that movie feels like it was a million years ago, but it was earlier in 2020. And then she's in this, and she's playing a female blurred who's got a lot of past to her as well. She seems interesting. And the funny thing is, when she was booking it, like running hard as hell.
I was going to say athlete blurred.
Yeah, I was like, okay, this girl looks like she formerly ran track. You know what I mean? Like she looked athletic.
I could tuck a she had narrow hips.
Yeah. You know where she's originally from, right?
She's from Oakland,
isn't she? Her first acting career? No, her first acting career, she was Stephanie Sprano on Full House.
Shut the fuck up. Really?
Yes, that's that black girl with the curly hair. That's her.
Wow.
From Full House.
Okay.
Yes.
Holy shit.
And that's why when she was on True Blood, like there's a scene with her and Sam from Sam's the restaurant guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a shapeshifter, and so was she, and they were shagging.
Holy
I know
you got to see her.
I know she's fucking hot.
You got to see her with no clothes on.
Just tell them never to go to Chicago in the winter and get
Oh
sober.
god damn.
Real.
I will
Just
say,
saying.
I don't know if
Just
you
don't do
caught
it.
it, Prodigy, but in the show, when they basically force her to make that run, she tells Atticus, "Hey, I can do this. You know, I used to run track." He's all,
I saw it. Yeah.
I got my medal. You know, I can do this. Let me do this. He's all right. He didn't want to let her go, but she did, and she hauled ass. It worked
He
out.
had no choice.
Yeah. Yeah. Here's the thing. The racist, the racists who were ready at the drop of a hat to kill anybody black are still more afraid of them than any monsters. Like let's just be perfectly clear. The guns are drawn on black people and as the first option, and then maybe a monster if necessary. And I found that so telling. That was deliberate, and I caught it immediately, and I was like, I see what you did here.
And it's still to this day. I mean, to be honest, it's like there are people that are, I'll say quote unquote white because it's not just European Americans. It's people that are part of that white culture. All right, and I will say it every single time because if I don't, people get it fucking confused. But there's people in this white culture that don't understand that, people that are from African descent, you don't have to like be fearful of all like of us. You know what I mean? But there's so much fear pumped into them that we're gonna, try to destroy them and their culture. It's amazing to me because they are fearful that we will treat them the same way that they treat us right now or previously, here in America. And that's not what I think the vast majority of us want.
No.
We just want equal rights and equal treatment. But it's the fear that if we do happen to get on top and rain down the same sort of abuse and inequality that they have done to us for fucking centuries.
Yep.
And I understand the fear, but they have to take a step back and be like, listen, you're just assuming that somebody's gonna be just as bad of an asshole as you.
Mm-hmm.
There are better people on this planet than you. Like I don't want anything better than somebody that's, of whatever other culture. I just want an equal treatment, and that's what most people want. And so that's what bothers me about when people like when I say like the whole Black Lives Matter thing. Like I don't necessarily agree with the organization because the organization is sketch at best to me anyway. But as far as like the statement goes and the meaning to it, I believe in that. And I think that most people don't really understand that. They just think that we want to get a leg up and like fuck them over. It's like no, it's not about that. We just want equal treatment. That's it.
There you go.
So I just want to try to jump back to what I was talking about. So this is the homegirl from.
Oh shit!
So this is when she was on when she was on Full House, and this is her now. And, that's fucking mind blowing, dude.
I love Blue with the receipts, like the timely receipts. You know what I mean? Love it.
Yeah.
All right. Watch Lovecraft Country. I think we're going to be probably talking about this every week because it seems like it's fascinating.
For a minute. Yeah.
It looks like it's going to go crazy.
Yeah, before we switch gears, I just want to. So, go ahead, Stitch. You want to talk about something real quick, or
No. Go ahead. I was.
All right. So
switch it up. Yeah, go ahead, Ron.
So if you didn't know, me and Sweetness, we moved to our place ago, and I was going through some of my old boxes, and I found some old tech. You guys remember this? Goddamn fucking flip camera.
Oh shit!
Oh
Yeah.
shit!
So I fucking found my old fucking flip camera. This thing is fucking 10 years old, and it still fucking worked. And it's funny because I had footage of Cronus and his daughter at a trampoline place in San Francisco on here. But one of the things that's funny is that I tried to put in a date for this thing, and the highest date you can put is 2020. After 2020, you can't put another date after that. So this thing I think might be predicting the future. So if 2020 is the last of the year, this fucking thing basically predicted it. But yeah, I think it's funny. I fucking found it and it still fucking works. It's 10-year-old technology, and it was funny because this was the GoPro before GoPro. This thing was super fucking popular. Everybody had one. when you clicked off the side, like the little USB thing popped out, and you can just plug into your computer and transfer the files. But what's also cool about it, they had a fucking it had a display screen on the back. So while you're recording, you can actually see what you're recording, and you can listen back and see what you recorded. And this shit was like super fucking popular. I think Cisco acquired them, and I think they owned them for like a year before they actually fucking shut them down. Because that's how I got this. Because I worked at Cisco when they acquired them, so I got this for free. But
how much early 2000s porn do you have on there?
Oh no, it had a small fucking drive on here. I think it only had you only could record like maybe 2 hours worth of footage.
That's
it had like a 24 gig hard drive on here or something like that. Like it's not a lot, but it recorded in HD, which is kind of cool.
Well, you know what's funny is that you brought up GoPro. So I think most people don't know that GoPro has been around for like way longer than they thought. So back in like when I was riding motorcycles a lot, I used to go to track days, and it was in I forget the name of the track. It's irrelevant, but I used to go to track days at a certain track, and you could rent GoPros, and this is like 2006, 2007 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
It was like the GoPro 1 or 2. You could rent the GoPro and like slap it on your bike, and then would give you the fucking footage afterwards. So GoPro's been around for way longer than most people think.
That's awesome.
Yeah, since 2006 when the company was founded.
So.
I was gonna ask. I know that a couple of you guys have played the Avengers demo. I want to get your thoughts on that. It's dropping, I guess, in the near future. But I guess they opened up the demo for people, and I seen everybody playing it on my my PlayStation friends list. I was curious to get your thoughts on that.
What? Who asked what?
Well, I thought the first one was for the first.
I thought the beta was only available for pre-order. If you
That's what I
pre-ordered
thought
the
the
game.
first one. The first beta, I guess, people who pre-ordered it, I guess, had first access to it maybe like a week ago. But then this past weekend, it looks like, I guess, maybe they opened it up for general people, maybe. But I think Chronos played it, and Old Ninja played it. Just curious to hear your guys' thoughts on that.
Cronus, you want to take this part, take the reins?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll take it. So yeah, it was kind of a mixed bag. All right, so if you played, I think a lot of people, they might have played like maybe less than 15 minutes, and if you did that, or if you played less than like maybe an hour, you might have been very disappointed with the game, to be honest. Because the first hour or so, it's very linear, and it's kind of fun because you get to like switch back between like Thor and Iron Man and the Hulk, and the Hulk is fun to play with. But the demo was actually rather large. It was like 20, almost 30 gigs, and there's like 3 different levels you get to play as. And the first one is very linear, and it's okay. I mean, it's not bad. It's just kind of meh. But then once you get to the part to where like you get to open up like the actual like world map, and you get to go to like an actual like sandbox type environment, I think that's where it really shined for me anyway. Is where you drop down in this full sandbox environment, you get to pull down attack view, and you get to see like where there's extra shit to do. You can not do the main mission right away. You can go do other shit. You can take down like an elite group for more resources. You can find other resources. I thought that was really cool. But there's problems with the demo. I'm not gonna say the game. I'm gonna say the demo because they have time to fix it. All right, because for me, like the whole loot situation was like a fucking shit show, like a huge shit show. I don't understand, but they had time to fix it. All right, so I'll just leave it at that. So I'm not gonna hit them too hard, but I will say that there's like first of all, they don't explain to you the loot system soon enough. So once you start picking up gear, you're like, what the fuck do I do with this? Like the whole thing of like just press one button and you can like optimize your gear.
Yeah, they call it.
It's cool.
They call it boosting. Yeah.
Yeah, but that might not be what you want to do. You know what I mean? But it's also like most of the gear is kind of the same. Caveat: it's just a demo. I'm gonna keep saying it. Okay, they have time to fix this. But you'll pick up. There's times where like you're in a certain level, and you'll pick up so much new loot, like left, right, left, right, left, right. And you say, all right, this is all like kind of common shit. Like, how does this make me better as like a character? And like none of the loot that you pick up changes the way that you look at all, and it's really like awkward. And it's just like, why am I picking this shit up? Like, how does it make me like a better character? It seemed rather awkward, but they have time to fix it. So I hope that's like the main thing they need to fix in the game to me is loot, because the loot situation is in the demo was a total shit show. Like I could have picked up like nothing, and I could have played the game exactly the fucking same as I did. You know what I mean? Because the only thing that really mattered was if you had shit that had ancillary effects. Like they had shit that where if you hit somebody, it would leave like gamma radiation behind or whatever kind of like ancillary effect. But besides that, it really didn't fucking matter. So it was like really like weird to me to have that, but it was still really fun to play as like what they did like that was really correct in the game. All the characters felt really different. You know what I mean? Like Hulk didn't feel like Thor, didn't feel like fucking Iron Man, didn't feel like Kamala, didn't feel like fucking. I think I was the only four that you could play as.
No,
or the
Black Widow.
Black Widow. Yeah, they all felt drastically different, and that was awesome. So they kept that going. Yeah, just to me, my takeaway from the whole demo was fix the fucking loot system, and you probably have like a much better game. Probably a couple of little like other gripes, but it was a demo, so that's the only thing that I can see as like a main gameplay mechanic that they would have to fix to make it an acceptable like AAA game.
Do you plan on picking up?
Yeah, I'll probably pick it up because they can fix these things before the launch. Because I think that the whole loot thing, you could definitely fix that before launch. It was still fun to play. Like for me playing as Kamala Khan, it was fun as shit.
Yeah.
Like seriously.
What about you, old ninja?
Yeah, I'm gonna say, for the most part, I agree with Cronus. The one thing, I guess it might have been a little different for me. I did get one piece of gear that did change the Hulk's fist. It looks like he got this like the stuff that you wrap up your fist with before like the TIE fighters do and all that stuff. He got that, but other than that,
Like a wrap.
yeah, it's like a wrap.
But did it actually? Hold on. Let me ask you this though. When you're playing the game, could you see the wraps?
Yeah, I can see the wrap. That was the only thing though. Everything else I got, I couldn't see. Like there was stuff from my chest that I got, you never see. I got stuff for Kamala for her shirt. It looked like it got a different different shirt, but it didn't translate to her character. And I wasn't sure if what I did like improved her or not, but I just did it just to like I guess rank up or whatever. But yeah, other than that, everything else you were saying was basically true. Like it doesn't really tell you if you're whatever effect that your gear has. It doesn't seem like it translated like significantly. Maybe just like passive stuff. I wasn't even sure. But like you said, it was super fun to play as some of the characters. Like the two big things I take away positively were the ability to play multiplayer. So when you're playing multiplayer, you can pick whoever the fuck you wanted. And you can literally have a squad of 4 people with all these different heroes, and you can go on a mission and just fucking literally tear shit up. It was super fun doing like Hulk's like ultimate rage shit, because like literally you're invincible for like 45 seconds. Not only do you not take damage, but you dish out more damage, and you just like wreck everything. It was super fun.
Yeah, pick it up. Hold on, pick up somebody.
Or throw them, or beat them, yeah.
Treating them like Loki. You pick them up by like their leg, and you beat them. You pick up the person and they're their weapon.
Yeah, you use them as a fucking bat. You basically use the person
that shit was awesome.
as a bat. It was fucking dope. I was like, and you literally carry them until they like break. When they break, you like throw the body away. It was fucked up, but it was awesome at the same time. And I felt like it was fun, but I do think the loot system stuff does need to be fixed. Another thing that was fucking me up was the pathfinding. So when I had an objective I needed to go to, it didn't exactly like have an indicator of where I needed to go. I felt like I had to like find my way around this like weird sandbox stuff. Like I was like, well, a lot of times I found myself saying, where do I go? Like I don't know where do I go next. And
hold on, let me explain this a little bit for you. This is the problem with like the progression in the game, is that once you got to the spot, I pretty much understand like where you were when you were like, where the fuck do I go? There's like a tactical view that you can get in the game, but then I explain it to you into later in the game. Like if you just press up on the fucking D-pad, like it basically tells you where to go, but they don't explain that shit to you like soon enough. But it was in the demo.
yeah, it was.
So I'll give them that.
It was that too. But even then, like I think I hit a spot where it glitched because when I did press the tactical view, it still didn't show me where I went. And like I restarted the checkpoint and like the area, it looked like where I was supposed to go didn't like render or didn't like load. And then when I did the checkpoint, it was there. And then I was able to progress.
Oh.
So
Okay.
they can easily fix that, but that was a little glitch that I ran into.
Yeah.
But still, an indicator would be nice. Like, where do I go? Like, especially when you switch characters to the point where you would play as basically your sidekick for a minute. And I didn't know what the objective was. And I was looking in the tactile view, and I was like, it tells me what to do, but it doesn't show me where I need to go. So they can fix that, though. That's probably a pretty easy fix. But I had fun playing it. I don't think it's like it. I definitely wasn't overwhelmed. I was definitely like I wasn't underwhelmed either. I guess I should preface like I wasn't.
You were whelmed.
Yeah, I was kind of whelmed, but I had fun. I didn't. Granted, when I came into the beta, I did not have super high expectations for this game at all. I was just like, I'm gonna play this and be like, whatever.
How does it compare to Marvel's Alliance? Because I think that was one of your favorite games, right, Old Ninja?
That was Stitch's favorite game, but I do like the game. Imagine like
I didn't hear the question.
Oh, he was asking us if Marvel Ultimate Alliance is like one of my favorites. I do like that game. It's not one of my favorites. That's more like one of your favorites because you have Part 1 and Part 2 of Marvel Ultimate Alliance. I don't have Part 1.
I have Part 3.
There is a third one. It's on the Switch.
It's on the Switch.
Yeah, I have all three too. I never played them.
So it's kind of like a 3D or third-person version of Ultimate Alliance. It doesn't have the top-down view. You have the like third-person follow view, but I feel like I do way more carnage in this game than the other one because the very beginning of the game, the stuff that we saw from E3, when you take over as Iron Man, there's a part in the game where you can literally destroy the background. You use your Unibeam.
Are you pimping as Iron Man?
Wait, what?
Are you pimping out Spider-Man as Iron Man, or are you just doing an Iron Man shit?
Well, I guess if you're on the PS4, you will. So, but yeah, there's a part where you can literally blow up the background. Go ahead. Go where you get at.
So if you buy the game, or you're allowed to, I guess, have Spider-Man be one of the characters. Is that what that whole DLC bonus stuff is about?
On the PlayStation only.
Yeah, and I don't know if they're going to charge you for it. Probably they might. I don't know.
You know what?
Why would you say that?
That sounds like hater talk.
Yeah, that sounds like you're ridiculous.
Well,
why would you pay for?
But you know what's funny about the funny thing is about the whole Spider-Man stuff. I believe he's in Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 as a playable character. And then he was in Marvel versus and 2, and then he was in Marvel versus Capcom Infinite as well. So
but that was all before. But that was all before like the whole split thing.
Well, what I'm saying though, Marvel versus Marvel Ultimate Alliance was a Nintendo only one, a Switch only one, and then go ahead.
These are things that were developed before, like the whole Sony split thing.
Sony owning.
I don't know about 3.
Yeah, before they were like assholes about Spider-Man. This is like before. Those games were developed before the whole Sony owning Spider-Man and like them being a dick to Sony or being a dick to Marvel.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know about the timeline because that game dropped literally last year, I thought.
Yeah, but the development
Yeah,
cycle
not
was
the
not
third.
in a
The
single
third.
year. They were developed way before that.
I feel like this game was being developed for the last maybe 3 to 5 years as well.
Yeah, but that the 3 to 5 years that was after the Sony thing happened with Marvel. But the games you're talking about, they were developed years before that. Like games take a while to develop.
Yeah. Well, okay. I guess what I'm trying to say though is just the third one, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, which debuted last year and was probably in development for 2 to 3 years prior to that. That's a pretty
Probably
recent
5 years.
huh?
Yeah,
That's a
it's
recent
probably 5 years.
game,
Yeah.
right? Or no?
Well, no, I mean it takes a long time to develop
They,
a game.
Yeah.
Like,
One way or another, those two games were being developed at the same time. They had to have been.
I don't know.
Yeah.
that
Maybe.
makes sense. I mean, I'm not up to date timeline, but that's something that we could look into and everything. There was a topic that I wanted to bring up, but I can't see my notes.
Which one is it?
Well, here's a big one. Hold on, I'll grab it. Let me grab the mic then. God damn it. We got brand new news. Speaking of PlayStation 4, we got huge news on the Ghost of Tsushima getting free
Fuck yes.
co-op.
That's exactly what it was. Fuck.
A co-op upgrade. Yeah, this is huge. Everybody was
Yes.
told that this was a single player open world great game. I'm still working my way through it, but
This is
Kronos
August,
finished
baby.
it. Yeah, Kronos finished it. Everybody seemed to have loved this game. We're getting co-op on this bad boy, right? You know, you could do your clan stuff with Ninja versus Ghost or whatever. Go ahead.
I didn't just finish it. I platinumed that shit.
There you go.
Because I enjoyed it so much. But honestly, I stopped playing it because it was like, listen, if they had a horde mode, I was expecting a horde mode because I just want to go through and just fucking kill millions of Mongols and see how far I can get. And they were like, okay, we got you, bro. How about some fucking co-op? I was like, done and done.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's like,
Free.
they gave me more than I fucking wanted. Like, seriously. Like, what the fuck? Like, I'm definitely going to go back and fucking replay that game.
Yeah.
And not replay the game, I'm sorry. At least play the fucking co-op version of it. And I'm going to be excited to do it. Like, it's something that I didn't know that I wanted, and they gave it to me. So
That's awesome.
I'd have been fine with horde mode. Horde mode would have been way easier for them to do, way easier. But they're going above and beyond to give the fans what the fuck they want. So let's go and kill some goddamn demons.
But
now we're gonna go through and kill some demons, right?
Yeah.
I thought at E3 they showed it having a horde mode, or was it a different game? So I remember there was like a scene where it's like a wall, and basically you had to fucking defend it, and there was like hordes of zombies that was coming toward it, and you were fucking like just you and somebody else was just basically like slaughtering them in front of the wall.
No, not that game. No.
I mean, it could have been a different game.
Yeah, there's no zombies in Ghost of Tsushima, but there are epic ass fucking wars if you play the single player, where it's like you kill hundreds of enemies, and it's amazing. That's why I just wanted that. Like I just want to kill more hordes of enemies, and because I actually when you're done with the game, there's literally like nothing to do.
Yeah.
Like you have to restart the game and play it again. I'm like, I'm not interested in that, especially when you can't skip over the cutscenes.
Mhm.
So fuck that.
Well, it's also
But now,
it's also a really good middle finger to any of the haters talking about, oh well, you know, Sony has all their exclusives, they're just single player. First of all, there's nothing wrong with that, and then secondly, a great game is a great game. And you know damn well they're going to add multiplayer at some point to The Last of Us Part 2. And now we're getting free stuff for Ghost of Tsushima. So this is awesome. Go ahead, Stitch.
No, that's exactly what I was going to bring up the point about Last of Us 2. I mean, they're just putting like daisies on Xbox's grave and shit like that in terms of just stunting on them. I mean, I know Old Ninja's got a platonic relationship or whatever, a common law marriage with the Xbox. But, I mean, you call it what it is or whatever. I mean, Sony is
They won the console generation for the past one. Like it was, you had to put down the stick, and they're still just being like, oh, you didn't think we won by enough? Here's some more stuff to just show you. Yeah, tell your kids about us.
Oh,
you know what's hilarious to me is I don't understand how the Xbox even still exists. Well, only because listen, Microsoft as a company is a huge company, but they have taken L after L after L. Have they won a single console generation yet?
no.
I don't
No, they
know.
have not.
Not a single console generation.
No.
They've innovated nothing. I don't understand.
Can I just add really quickly? For those who, some Xbox fans will point to the 360. The 360 did not outsell the PS3 in its lifetime. The PS3, even though it got to a slow start, eventually surpassed the 360. So go ahead.
Or the Wii, like what the fuck?
Yeah, explain.
The Wii was still in that it was still in that same general time frame.
Yep, it was.
Like they took a huge L. Like I don't understand. Like they're pulling. Microsoft has a bunch of money from like software sales and shit like that. But as far as like making consoles go, they've taken L after L after L. They decided to make consoles. They haven't decided to try to expand into handhelds at all, where Nintendo holds the fucking crown forever. I mean, Sony tried it, but they had mild success, but they took an L as well. And I don't understand why Microsoft, especially this generation, I don't understand why they're fucking even putting money into it. Like seriously, where they're exclusives, they have Halo Infinite. They got pushed back for understandable reasons. It's fine because they, when they had like the video, the graphics with their fucking 14 teraflops didn't look great. Where are the rest of their games?
Oh, Fable 4.
Who the fuck?
Fable 4.
Fable 4. No. Let him say his piece.
I just said Fable 4 is coming.
But when is it dropping?
Hold on. Where's the other games at? You have 2 games.
I haven't kept. So we're going to talk about the Xbox event. So the only ones that I saw, there was 4 exclusives that they showed. One was Fable 4. The other was Halo Infinite, and then the other 2 there are new IPs, I guess. But I've never even heard of them. So
you don't even know. Hold on. So you're an Xbox fan, and you don't know what the fuck 50% of the exclusive games for that console are.
No,
you don't know.
No, I do not.
Yeah,
that's a bad sign.
This is what's insane to me. But they're wasting money.
Also,
on
the one that you mentioned, the one that the Halo one got pushed back, so it's not even going to be out at launch.
Listen, I'm giving the Xbox a pass with Halo Infinite because, I mean, listen, Metal Gear Solid has a horrible fucking record of releasing on time. We were supposed to get, what was it? MGS4 was released a year and a half. It was supposed to be a launch title for the PS3. A year and a half later, we got it. It was an amazing game, but it was a year and a half late. MGS5 was pushed back as well, I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I'll let them take that, but there was plenty of other PlayStation exclusive games that came out within those times, and I'm just really concerned that, because listen, I'm gonna buy the console pretty much no matter what. You know what I mean? Because I like to own all the consoles. I like to be able to play all the games. But they're not giving me a really compelling reason to really buy the next Xbox because Old Ninja said there's 4 exclusives. He can only name 2, which is fine. But like, I need a more compelling reason to put my money down on a new console that I'm going to play fucking 4 games on?
Well,
maybe?
It's worse than that, though. Let's be really clear. The third-party games, sometimes, just like with Avengers and just like with Call of Duty, has exclusive content that is only on Sony. Like last year, that was the hardest flex I've ever seen with Activision and Call of Duty Modern Warfare having entire modes only on PlayStation. You're talking about the best-selling game of last year and one of the best-selling games of 2020, even though it didn't come out this year. So And then obviously with the Avengers with Spidey, that's a huge loss even on the third party games.
Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, both. So this is what's weird about this. This is why I love Nintendo. So when Nintendo comes out with a console, comes out with games, they are all in because they're a gaming company. Sony and Microsoft are not gaming companies.
Barely.
They're not. If y'all want to argue with me, do some research. Go fuck yourself. They make the vast majority of their money off of other products that they both make. Sony's a huge conglomerate. They make fucking TVs. They make fucking headphones, all other kinds of electronics. Microsoft makes the vast majority of their money off fucking software. You know what I mean? So they can take those L's. Meanwhile, Nintendo, they used to be a fucking a card company, and now they make
playing
only
cards.
video games. Really?
Like fucking
Yeah,
cards.
like literally playing cards.
The only
Like fucking Uno.
the only thing I'll say about Nintendo is the what's that cardboard shit that they put out that
Oh,
that
Labo,
fucking
that was awful.
got swept under the rug.
Yeah. It didn't do well. You're right. But they still sold more than the Xbox.
But with Sony, I will say this.
Did you open it? Because last time I brought it up, you said you never even opened it.
Oh no, I'll be totally honest. It still ain't open.
Yeah, there ain't no point in cardboard. But I will say with this with Sony, the most profitable division is certainly the PlayStation and that whole ecosystem in terms of the money making. They do make certainly money with their pictures and all their other products, but PlayStation is king for them. It used to be the absolute reverse back in the day, but it certainly changed as of late.
But it's definitely way easier for you to like take an L off of anything. Don't get me wrong. This is Sony. You know, obviously they're making money off the PlayStation. It's obvious.
Yeah.
But they're also making money in other ways. You know what I mean? Because they have, especially through different technologies and all other shit. Like they're making money.
Yeah, not the laptops because that shit's not selling whatsoever.
Well, not now.
What it's called?
Yeah.
Well, just you also got to remember though is that they own patents to like like the Walkman, and that was a long time ago. They're bringing it back, but they own a lot of other tech shit that people don't really realize that they own.
Oh, not only that, but they own patents as well.
Well, they have the patent for Blu-ray.
Yeah, I think they have the patent of Blu-ray. Yeah.
Yeah, Sony owns the patent of Blu-ray.
So tell me about the Star Trek series, the Star Trek animated series.
Oh.
Lower Deck.
Lower Deck.
Anybody else watch it?
I haven't had a chance to.
Okay, so I guess I'll talk about it. I enjoy it.
One quick thing is that like, dude, it's so funny because like when we first started the podcast, like it was all about like cable shows on TV and blah blah blah. Now it's all fucking this like we have the HBO app and we have the fucking CBS app and we have the fucking ABC fucking app. We have the DC fucking app. We have the Disney fucking app. Like all these shows are on all these different fucking apps. We don't even talk about shows anymore. We talk about the app that you can watch this on, basically.
Well, you know what's hilarious is that I'm pretty sure I'm getting CBS All Access for free. I'm not paying for it, but I fucking have it. I don't know how.
Oh,
yeah,
it could be more. Yeah, I heard there's one of the services out there that you pay for may be giving it to you for free. I heard some people had it for free if you own like AT&T or Verizon or something like that.
Yeah, it's something weird, but I got it, and I was gonna watch it anyway. I'm a huge Trekkie fan, but I'm also so I'm gonna give you some caveats. All right, if you're a huge Trekkie fan, this may not be for you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so John Oakes, who I credit for helping this podcast kind of rise up. What's up?
Yeah, he's.
I was gonna say we know
our
him.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, John Oakes does not like the show, but I still respect John Oakes. He's a great dude. He's a huge VR guy. He definitely helped this podcast like catapult up a little bit, actually a lot. He doesn't like it, but I think I understand sort of why he doesn't like it is because it's kind of a mix between Star Trek and like Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
So if you go into the show thinking that as a Trekkie and a Trekkie only, you probably will not like this show.
I kind of got the impression of Star Trek and that Hulu show, the odd.
Solar Opposites.
Yeah, polar opposite. That one. Yeah.
It's the same Rick and Morty.
Yeah,
producer,
yeah, basically.
so that's why. Yeah. But yeah, if you're kind of in between, you know, if you're Rick and Morty and a Star Trek fan or Solar Opposites fan, you'll like it. So it's the reason why people that are Trekkies, like hardcore Trekkies, why they won't like it is because it's funny, and so they bring humor and like way more humor than Star Trek normally does, which for me is fine, because like I said, I like these other kinds of shows, and I like that because it's kind of silly, but what I think a lot of Trekkies don't seem to give the show credit for is that there's so many fucking Star Trek Easter eggs in the show that they might have ignored or just like maybe they just cut it off too quick. They go through some fucking serious Star Trek lore in this show, and it's really good. It's like it's really kind of subtle. Some of it not so subtle, but I think it's really cool. It's like to see some like the whole premise of the show is that basically you get people that are on a starship that are not part of the main deck crew. Like they're not on the main deck. They're in the lower decks. And like, from engineering and like the
shoveling coal into
people that do
warp drives.
people that do like fucking away teams that are not supposed to come back and shit like that. Like so for me it's hilarious to like see that whole like underbelly of Star Trek because Gene Roddenberry's version of Star Trek is this whole altruistic view of first of all humanity and then aliens as a whole. But it's like, listen, we all know that, well, maybe not we don't all know, but realistically right now, if people were to have like this altruistic thing, if we just got thrown into this, like, hey, you can go into space, you can do whatever, somebody's going to get fucked. Like, you're going to have somebody doing a shit job, no matter what. Mm-hmm. And so this is focusing on people that do the shit jobs. And for me, it was like, it was pretty cool to see. And I enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to the next one that comes out. I think it came out today. I'll probably watch it tomorrow. But it was highly entertaining to me to see like this whole different variation of Star Trek.
Nice.
Did anybody else watch it?
I wish. No. I'm going to try to watch it in the next couple days. But there's some other stuff we'll probably get into next that I kind of want to watch a little bit first. But it looks funny. Like, the trailers look hilarious to me. So I'm super interested. I've been waiting for this. I'm looking forward to getting into this because I think it might be fucking hilarious. I didn't know about Easter eggs, so I think that's even going to be more funny for me.
I think the first episode. The first episode is available on YouTube too.
No shit.
That's cool.
So down. So down.
Can I ask, what the fuck is going on with this Dan Harmon shit?
Woo! Ooh, man, it's all bad. Has anyone seen this?
I missed it. Someone's got to explain it to me.
Oh, my God.
Wait, what was the question? I missed it.
Dan Harmon.
Dan Harmon, the creator of Rick and Morty and Solar Opposites and a whole bunch of other stuff.
Oh, yeah.
On Twitter, I saw he was being canceled for an old sketch. Is that the case, Old Ninja? What is this?
Yeah, it is. Okay. Dan Harmon went on, I think it was actually Facebook or whatever, but he talks about a canceled pilot for Showtime. And he gives a little brief introductory, like, he thought it was funny at the time. Showtime didn't think it was funny, so they canceled the show. They didn't order it to series or whatever. So he shows like a little, like, I guess it's like a pitch reel. It's like a pitch thing. So what it is, it starts where he's interviewing or he's doing a therapy session. He's doing a therapy session with another guy. The guy says he's like depressed or whatever. He's got a kid and the kid's been bothering him or whatnot. And then like they do this little inner monologue like, "Oh, I didn't know you had a kid. Oh, it's good to know that you have like a little infant kid. I can't wait till you like go home. I'm gonna slip you this like drink, and I'm gonna give you medication to where you knock out." So it cuts to the house where the guy like goes to the kid. So the kid is a doll. It's not a live baby. It's a doll baby,
Oh my
and
god, I'm seeing that shit fucking now.
yeah, and the guy goes to sleep, and then Harmon crawls into the window. Is like, "Oh, I can't believe that you left your baby alone. This is so great." And he drops Trout, and then he starts like humping the baby doll, and they have like baby sounds in the background, and it fades out. And I'm like, well, this is supposed to be funny. This is not funny at all. This is actually quite horrifying.
It's fucking bad. It's bad. I'm looking at it now.
It's literally like it's like a 90-second clip, but people are like, "You thought this was funny back in 2009. This isn't funny now in 2020." But the fact that you thought about this, you filmed it, you wrote it, this shows that you have some issues. A lot of people say he should be canceled. To me, I found it disturbing, but
Can I just actually add a little bit of context? I'm not defending anything, nor am I promoting anything. I just want to add a little
Don't
bit
get
of
suspended
context.
like old ninja.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
You have
I
both a
will
daughter
say-
and a son, so
I do. I will simply say that there's a running gag on Family Guy about a pedophile that has been in animated form for like
Perv?
15, 20 years.
Perv to perv.
Yeah, and I'm just saying, in terms of that, I always thought that was weird too. But it seems like that's been a source of humor, maybe because it's Family Guy. I don't know. Maybe because it's animated. But if pedophilia in comedy is never funny, it's hard for me to let that slide either. Just putting that out there for context.
Let me ask you this as far as context and content. Do they ever show an actual sexual act with this pedophile on Family Guy? Because I don't watch a whole lot of Family Guy.
It's
It's pretty
hinted.
well.
It's hinted.
It's not even
Yeah.
hinted.
Okay, in this
No,
skit,
in this
this
kid,
kid is live
it's-
action. It is live action.
Yeah.
It's not hinted. He actually goes through the motion. You see him humping a baby doll.
You have
Okay.
a naked grown. He's not naked. You have a grown fucking man with his pants down, his shirt open. You can see his fucking belly and he's fucking humping a goddamn doll at his fucking face. So
Yeah,
this is
and they
totally
have like baby like cooing or like kind of crying in the background and stuff too. Like this is the actual simulated act. I mean, it's not a real baby, but still, the implication and the actual act itself is still horrifying to a lot of people, including myself.
I mean, I'm not going to give any of that any kind of excuse.
No,
So,
no.
yeah, I don't know. I always assumed that Justin Roiland was like the creator of Rick and Morty, and I thought that Dan Harmon was like the producer. That was me personally. I didn't know that it was like co-created.
Mhm.
But I mean, I'm not going to give an excuse to like that sort of thing. Maybe like listen, I'm not even going to fucking pontificate on that shit. I think pedophilia is disgusting, any sort of way. Yes, even in Family Guy, even like the character is creepy as shit.
Yep.
And I think that the character shouldn't exist, to be honest with you. Especially now. That's just because we have seen how many pedophiles there are. So this is what's weird to me. I'll rewind a little bit. So I didn't think that when Family Guy had the character of like the creepy fucking pedophilia guy, I forget his fucking name. Yeah. I was like, it's funny because I thought that pedophilia was like so incredibly rare. You know what I mean? So it became funny because like that shit doesn't really exist in real life. But not saying in real life. It's rare in real life. But it's been very apparent to like most people, including me, that pedophilia is like way more common and
Yep.
still fucking utterly disgusting. You know, so hopefully somebody doesn't fucking cut what the fuck I just said and chop it up. You know what I mean?
Hey,
Just
we
take it
got
out
your
of
back.
context.
We got your fucking back.
Yeah, pedophilia is fucking disgusting. But back in the day, like I think that most people assumed that it was like this more fringe thing that was weird and disgusting. And it was funny because like most people did not participate in these sorts of things. Fast forward to today, well, in America at least, we realize that way more people are, especially that are in higher power,
Mm-hmm.
are fucking into pedophilia. You know, they're all getting, you know, they're just desserts by going to jail and shit like that. But there's obviously way more of them because we have the Jeffrey Epstein fucking pictures and fucking tapes, videos. I hate saying tapes, but I guess back then there were still tapes.
Yeah.
I hate saying the old school fucking thing about tapes. There's no fucking tapes anymore. It's just fucking videos. But yeah, we have logs of shit, and I think it's hilarious to me when we're talking about pedophilia. I want to take us in kind of a political area, is that you know people believe that our current president is going to is going out there to get all these pedophiles. Meanwhile, we have pictures of our president with Jeffrey Epstein and the women that they were all abusing.
Yep.
And it's not even just we talked about it before. We had Anonymous release like pretty damning evidence to me, but I guess hasn't been vetted, that no fucking news channel has decided to pick up about, you know, our current president being likely a pedophile.
Yep.
You know, like he definitely was a friend of Jeffrey Epstein. He definitely hung out with him, and it's some disgusting ass shit. And even fucking Bill Clinton, even more damning evidence came out of him getting massages from somebody younger. And then one of these guys that I know, this is what's fucking me up right now. Somebody that I sort of respected, but he's like way too far on the left side, is that he was saying that the person that was giving former President Clinton a back massage, at the time of giving that massage, she was of age. That motherfucker, we all know that she was abused. She was one of the victims of Jeffrey Epstein. So for you to say that, she was of age at that time, it's okay. Fuck you, man.
Yeah.
Are you fucking serious?
Do I
have to explain to you why that's wrong?
Yeah.
I really want to stop fucking saying left and right. We didn't start saying like, okay, there's fucked up people, and then we have these fucked up people. Like, there's no left or right about shit. We have fucked up fucking people. That's basically what it all comes down to.
Well,
I completely agree. I was just going to say.
The reason.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say. I definitely agree. Look, if you're defending Clinton, Trump, what that British prince or Duke or whatever the fuck he is.
Yeah, he married Fergie.
Yeah, if you're defending literally anybody credibly accused of being in the Epstein underage circle, you're a piece of shit. I'm going to flat out say that. And then the other thing I'm going to say is you can't bring this topic up and only focus on something like Epstein when you have an entire institution like the Catholic Church that has been not only accused but credibly proven to have hidden away priests that have done this for decades and decades and decades and decades. So
centuries.
Yeah, I mean, so it's an ugly subject. I'm not defending anything that happened with this guy. It does sound like he apologized. I do give usually a lot of leeway with comedy, but I don't find any humor in this topic whatsoever.
Yeah. We're all huge fans. We're huge fans of Miss Robot. I want a F Society to leak every fucking thing. I mean, we kind of got with the whole.
They did.
They did.
Yeah, they did.
They did. They literally did it. Blue, you didn't see it?
No, I fucking saw it, but I think we need like some hard, like some more, like, God, I want to say we need like video footage so motherfuckers can say like, okay, there's no fucking guy in that shit. Like that's fucking such fucking.
Let me hold on, just real quick. We have literally video proof of R. Kelly pissing on an underage
Yeah.
person,
Yep.
Yes.
and people didn't give a shit.
Yeah, that's true.
Well,
Yeah.
and don't forget, just to taking it back to Epstein. I mean, the guy was in jail. You know what I mean? Like, let's not mix it up. He was in jail on suicide watch, and got. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
there's still been nobody convicted for what we all know was a highly suspect incident of him losing his life.
Mhm.
Wasn't even a suspect. Like,
Yeah,
he definitely
exactly.
didn't kill himself.
Like
what the fuck?
if you watch the Netflix show fucking 13, where the guy he talked about how he was in prison and all this shit fucking happened, it's like, yeah, there's in slide and happened just like that, and just say like, oh, it was suicide, basically what happened. But literally somebody fucking killed that person. And
Can we
Go ahead, Sid.
Can we step in the volcano for a second?
Ooh, love volcanoes.
Are you ready for this one? Can we? This is going to get controversial, but I don't give a fuck.
Ooh.
Can we talk?
You're not gonna go the old ninja route, right? And like accuse friends of Prodigy of being pedophiles. You're not doing that again, right?
I
You're
have
definitely because
no
I
days.
don't want to cut out the part of the
I
podcast.
have no days of
again.
suspension from this podcast. I will gladly
There you
wear
go.
that
'Cause,
on my
yeah,
my
I don't
my
want to cut
chest.
out part of the podcast again.
You know, hey, wait, hey, Stitch, what shirt are you wearing? Because it looks like are you wearing an Obama shirt?
That's Cap.
No, I got my cap
Yeah.
shirt on.
Cap who?
Also,
Captain
Cap
America?
France Fro.
Who?
No,
No, Kaepernick.
Hold on, go ahead, Sage.
Wait, what?
Can we talk about this?
Who
This
who
Colin.
the fucking wearing? Because I don't.
God damn it!
God damn it! God damn it!
Everybody kept talking
Colin
about what the
Kaepernick.
fuck he's wearing.
It's Colin Kaepernick. He has a Colin Kaepernick shirt on.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay,
Can we talk about this the Cannon kid that people are white knighting and jumping on?
Holy shit!
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Yeah.
Let us talk about this because people
let's
gonna get
fuck
their
them.
feelings hurt. But you know what? We don't shy
Fuck
away
those
from
people.
topics on this podcast. So we bring the fire. So
bring it my window because it's gonna be fucking bringing the heat. So set it up.
yeah.
Sid.
So well, I don't know the full details, but I've seen people start saying justice for Cannon and everything, and just the short term of it, I guess. Cannon was a
5-year-old.
5-year-old kid who was murdered by his neighbor, who was black. Cannon was a white kid. Cannon was shot.
The guy was 23 or 24, the African American guy.
Yeah, Cannon was shot, killed, murdered. Cannon's murderer was arrested. He's behind bars and everything. Don't know any of the circumstances, but there's no excuse for a 5-year-old catching a bullet intentionally, unintentionally.
Wait, so kind of jumping back because the original story was that the 5-year-old kept driving. He was riding on his fucking like bike or big wheel or something like that on the neighbor's yard.
Oh no!
And that's what the original report had said, was that the kid was in his yard, and that's the reason that ended up causing what happened. But like later on, stories had different fucking things. I'm just saying, like, this was the original story.
That's not what I had heard. But go ahead, Kronos.
Yeah, no, that was probably one of the original stories. But I don't want to get into the whole, because I don't know the exact like circumstances.
Yeah.
All right, but from what I've understood, it was nothing like that. A lot of it has to do with like drug abuse, and I don't want to get into that because I don't know the entire story. But that's me, that part of the story is irrelevant. Stitch, please keep telling the rest of the story as far as like the facts go.
Very irrelevant. And like I was saying, it doesn't matter. The kid, if whatever you find out about the fact about parents doing stuff, that's the same bullshit that they hit black people with about, oh well, they shouldn't have been involved with that shit. But we're talking about a 5-year-old kid. The 5-year-old kid was not sex trafficking. He was not running a drug empire. He's not slinging rocks in the street. He didn't have a fucking cartel empire. That shit doesn't matter. Cannon didn't deserve to die. Cannon didn't deserve to get shot. We can all agree upon that as a society. But let
Thank you. Yeah.
group that with some sort of injustice for Cannon. The circumstances for which Cannon perished is tragic and it's shitty. Yes, but was Cannon's killer a government employee? No. Was the person who shot Cannon in the head someone who took an oath to swear and protect people of Cannon's ilk and his age range or his race? No. It is not the same as what happened in the Breonna Taylor incident. It's not the same that happened in the George Floyd incident. So people that are changing their profile pictures, I have no problem with. But don't this whole whataboutisms about, oh, well, why aren't people protesting in the streets about Cannon? You're not talking about it. You haven't mentioned it. Yeah, look at that. Drink that tea. Drink that tea, Prodigy. You are grandstanding and not even believing half the shit that you are saying about this whole justice for Cannon stuff. You are just trying to diminish the obvious inequalities in the criminal justice system on obvious situations that we've seen take place over the past couple months, and try to low tragedy that justifiably, it is a tragedy. I don't want anyone to try to take snippets about what it is that I'm saying about what happened to this 5-year-old kid. The incidents were not the same. The circumstances were not the same. The people who perpetrated the violence were definitely not the fucking same. So stop with this Cannon justice. I don't want to say stop with the justice for Cannon, but justice for Cannon is in process. There is no fight to get the killer for Cannon behind bars because that shit happened. There's no justice needed to determine who it was that killed Cannon because that shit happened instantly. When they found out who killed him, he was put behind bars instantly, and most likely he's going to rot underneath a jail. There's no questions about, well, will his killer get off innocent? Like, we know how this is going to play out, and justice was swift, apparently accurate, and we don't have to worry about Cannon's killers most likely getting off.
So me and you, we generally agree, which I'm happy that we agree on this. All right, because the whole justice for Cannon thing for me was like, it was very baffling because the person that you thought was the person that killed him, he was already arrested within 24 hours. He's likely going to serve life in prison or going to die. I forget what state he's in, but he's going to at least serve life in prison. Meanwhile, we have video evidence of somebody killing somebody, a grown man, and they didn't get arrested for days, weeks. Like, what the fuck? How is this the fucking same? Like, I don't understand how people think this is the goddamn same. I don't understand how in America we pay police officers, we pay them to have a higher standard for morals, all right? We pay them to make the right decisions. For some reason, these stupid-ass motherfuckers in America seem to think that you can equate a police officer with a common person, a common criminal. And to me, it's either very telling in America or very disappointing for America. Because listen, a police officer should know when or when not to take a life, all right? I don't equate a police officer, generally speaking, to be a criminal that would shoot a kid in cold blood. It happens, but we need to hold them at a higher standard. If a police officer kills somebody, I expect them to go to jail much quicker. You know what I mean? They shouldn't be doing it at all to begin with because they should have the moral standards to understand, first of all, what it means to take a life. Second of all, to know what the laws are and to respect human life. But to apply those same standards to a normal person that has not gone through any sort of police training, to me, is fucking baffling. And I don't understand why we're applying these same standards to some fucking asshole that decided to kill a child for whatever reason, even though there's literally no, for the public, there's literally no evidence that this guy did it. And don't get me wrong, I have little doubt that he did it. Little doubt. But I also don't have evidence. I have fucking plenty of evidence when I saw Derek Chauvin murder George Floyd right in front of me on video. But you don't apply those same goddamn standards to somebody that you didn't see kill this kid at all or anything like that. You just assume that he did it because he's fucking black and maybe a criminal. Well, you don't fucking know. This is how fucking racist America is that they don't even fucking realize. Is that they're just like, oh yeah, he had to have done it because he's like, you know, whatever. And it's just amazing how easy people just like pull the wool over their own eyes. They're just like, oh yeah, he's just like that. Like, what the fuck are you even talking about? Yeah, it's bad. Like that child dying is a tragedy. But the guy who likely killed him was not a police officer. He was not taking our tax dollars and trained to have the morals to know when and when not to kill somebody. If you don't understand that, you are fucking stupid as shit. And you don't deserve to vote on anything. You don't deserve to have any power or anybody. You need to fucking go back to school. You need to go back to school for, like, if we had a school on morals, you need to fucking go to school just for that, to understand when things are right and wrong. Because you don't understand what the fuck right and wrong is. Our tax dollars being paid to people to understand what right and wrong is the main problem here. You stupid fucks. All right? I'm gonna start getting mad. So I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm taking too much time.
You sound like
so
you're already
go
there.
ahead.
You're already there.
Yeah.
This is a. Oh, go ahead. Go on.
Just really quickly. So, Cronus just talked about how he would like everyone to hold police officers to a higher standard versus a normal citizen or a private citizen. So here's something someone posted who keeps posting the justice for the young boy, but I want to say his train of thought or his methodologies or whatnot are followed by a few people. He's a friend of mine, but he's someone I keep because I want to see what that side
same thing.
keep saying. Yeah. So he posted this meme. All right, I'm going to read you what the meme says. There's no pictures or nothing. It's just words, but it's a meme. But he says, in the meme, it says, I'm sick of people saying cops need more training. It goes on. It says, you had 18 years to teach your kid it's wrong to loot, steal, set buildings ablaze, block traffic, laser people's eyes, overturn cars, destroy buildings, and attack citizens. Who failed who? This is the kind of stuff that he posted.
No. So I can answer that. Cops do need more training. And they also need to stop doing every goddamn job. All right, so what I think when I say we need to redistribute police, and this is where me and Stitch are going to get into a huge argument, likely.
I wouldn't say that. I agree.
No, you might.
I agree with that on about a 50%. I take it case by case, but yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, generally speaking, I think that the police in America are. We rely on them to do like way too much in America. We rely on them to do way too much. All right. And I think that police they're not trained enough to do all the shit that they're doing. All right. So listen, I've said it multiple times on this podcast. All right. I do jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and I have trained with a bunch of police officers. And the vast majority of them don't know how to fucking defend themselves. The vast majority of them, they don't. They need more training on that kind of shit. But they are not incentivized to do that at all. And that's a fucking huge problem to me. Like, listen, if I can fuck you up as a normal civilian... Well, I'm not a normal civilian. You gotta take me, I guess, I gotta take a little step back there. All right, I'm not a normal civilian. I'm a U.S. Marine. I train. All right, until COVID happened, I trained all the time to defend myself and still kill people in a gentle manner.
He said gentle.
It is gentle.
He said gentle. Manner. You choking people out, motherfucker. I know you didn't say gentle.
No, yeah. Once your brain realizes that you're gonna die, all these endorphins fucking shoot out, and you're just like, oh, we're good to go.
So
He said, I'm gonna nut. He said,
Going to the abyss.
Corona said, you're gonna nut after I fucking choke you out. Holy shit.
You'll feel great when you wake up. I'm serious. Anybody that does jujitsu that ever been choked out, they'll know. Yeah, you're fucking confused. You're like, why do I feel great? Oh fuck, I got choked out.
Wait,
That's how it happens. Like literally.
Do you guys talk about how like people were comparing? I mean, apparently you guys did, but you guys compare how like people were comparing like the whole Floyd Mayweather thing to this little white boy that was murdered.
What?
Wait.
George
No,
Floyd.
you're talking about
You
George
said Floyd
We can't see
Mayweather. I
you
was
right now.
confused.
Yeah,
What the fuck?
I was too.
I got my black folks confused. I couldn't remember their names, but no, like one of the huge things was that like people who are on like super left or right or one of the fucking directions were saying how like the media is not covering this little kid who was murdered by this black guy, and like how come there's no press coverage and this and that, blah 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, look,
because he was.
one, this kid,
Just caught.
their killer was fucking found.
Yeah,
And he was accused, but that was it. Like, in the fucking story, we're with George Mayweather. God, what the fuck is that name?
Floyd.
Oh my god.
Like literally, it took like days before this fucking the video was posted, and it took days for that shit to become fucking for it to start trending before the media even picked it up. To the fact that like they started to investigate what actually fucking happened with this person. But then like there's other stories where like, you know, there's this this redheaded guy.
Blue. Why can't I see you right now? Why is your whole shit gray?
There's something wrong with my camera. I'm not sure what's going on. I think it might be my internet.
Okay.
But there's a redheaded guy, and I think it was happening in Chicago, where this redheaded guy who was murdered. And like they were talking about like, oh, you know, such blah blah blah, like all life matter. Actually, not even all life mattered. It was this guy fucking died. How come how come the media isn't covering this? This is why Black Lives Matter is fucking bad. Blah blah blah. But they didn't say like, oh, you know, how come all life matter isn't getting behind this? And it turns out so this redheaded dude went to a gas station to get more alcohol from a party he was at. And he saw some guys who were part of the fucking either Bloods or Crips, and he literally like started to tease them, representing the other side of the gang. And so he was like, "Hey, yeah, blah blah, like, yeah, basically, like if you know about gangs and stuff like that, you don't want to fucking go to a gang member and represent the other side of their clique. You're gonna get fucked up." And that's basically what happened to this dude. So he was talking shit to this other fucking gang and got his ass fucking whooped, and they left him in the middle of the street. So they left him in the middle of the street. The guy ended up getting hit by a fucking car and getting killed by that.
Yeah.
And so everyone was like, oh, you know, this white guy got killed by a bunch of black guys who didn't fucking save his life and blah, blah, blah. But it's like, this guy was fucking talking shit. Like, that's not a Black Lives Matter thing. That's not a fucking Chicago murder thing. This guy was fucking talking shit to a bunch of fucking guys who were part of a fucking higher fucking clique. And he got his ass fucking kicked, basically. And it's like, you know, you can't...
Well, I want to go back to what Corona said about training or whatever, and something that was taught to me at like during when I was learning certain skills was that everything you learn is a perishable skill, and I mean it doesn't matter. It applies to multiple job aspects or whatever. I mean, you could be a doctor, you could be an EMT, you could be a film director, a cop, firefighter, whatever. Once you complete whatever it is training that you are given to be certified at that position, it is either upon your department, your agency, your company, or yourself. Exactly. To continue that training and to learn to better improve yourself. Now, yeah, you're at that point you're gonna get checks and you're gonna get paid to do whatever it is that you are quote unquote qualified to do. But in order to be efficient at it, then you need to take it upon yourself if your company does not provide you the said training. Like I said before, even when I was a dispatcher or whatever, yeah, I got certified on how to do CPR and also to give CPR over a phone. That's something that was given to me as my department gave it to me because it's something that I need to know and I need to constantly be sharp at. And like you kind of said before, like I don't disagree with you on terms of like people not taking up on their training and everything like that, but it's something that needs to be done. I mean, obviously, being in a physical combat for your life is something that can realistically happen on a daily basis. So it's something that you should not lapse upon. Now, if you are in some shitty department that doesn't care about training in terms of like how to handle like people with mental illness, people, homeless people and stuff like that, then yeah, you are behind the eight ball, and that it's a shitty situation, but it's something that you need to maybe go out upon yourself and take jiu-jitsu classes, take judo, take karate, take boxing, take something to keep you physically fit. Learn how to interact with people dealing with mental crisis if it's not being provided for you by your agency, because when it happens out in the field, you can't just all of a sudden be like, oh, I don't know how to deal with this, I need to call somebody else. That's not going to fly. It's the same way when you're given a firearm. I mean, yeah, you qualified 15 years ago when you went to the academy, but it's not going to matter when you need to take that shot 10 years down the road when there's a situation going on with an armed person. You need to be able to confidently pull that trigger and hit what it is that you're aiming while driving. You make sure that you're a competent driver, so you're not driving up the sidewalk on a vehicle pursuit and killing innocent pedestrians. So it's training that it should be provided by whatever department it is that you are assigned to. But when you have the enough awareness to realize, I haven't done any sort of physical control holds or sound combat or firearm training or whatever it is.
Yeah.
You need to look on. You need to be like, yo, I recognize my own deficiencies. That it doesn't always happen, but it's something that you need to be aware about. Be like, yo, I'm weak at this. Or even as an athlete, if you're, I'm a running back, but I suck at catching passes, I need to go out and I need to work on that shit. If my team is not doing it for me, I need to go out and do the work on my own. And it's a shitty situation that, yeah, your team should be providing it for you, but if some bad shit happens, you can't just, you're going to be the one catching the bullets if something goes wrong.
Yeah, well, I mean, to be honest with you, this is why I kept bugging you about fucking training. Like with me. Like, listen, we should have been training. Like, we could have trained a long time ago together. I would have loved to, like, me and you, like, get down and train some hand-to-hand combat and, like, just get shit done. You know what I mean? Because with me and you, it would have always been safe. Always been safe. Your actual, like, you would have had almost zero possibility of injury training with me. And this is something
I agree.
Go ahead.
Liability-wise, from
it's
a legal aspect,
man.
It is. But
it's not. It's not. Because we talk about it on the side.
Y'all would talk about that offline.
Yeah, because I know where you worked. I know people that work there.
Yeah, that's offline.
You'd have been all right,
that's
man.
offline. Okay.
I'll keep you safe.
Hold on.
I think if I were to do jiu-jitsu with Kronos, I would rather have him be my trainer than somebody else, because I think he knows like where I am, and he would be a little bit more gentle as far as throwing me down to the mat.
All right, one quick sec. Just stay on the same topic of law enforcement and everything. I do want to get Stitch's take on one quick thing, and maybe some other folks can jump in. Stitch, did you actually listen to that? I forwarded over a 99% Invisible kind of history thing about law enforcement and the motor vehicle and Fourth Amendment stuff. It was from a recent episode. Did you actually get a chance to listen to that one real quickly?
I got to listen to parts of it. That's going to be something I'm going to have to talk about on like a different cast, because I will say I don't like to brag on myself, but legal wise, I'm really astute on what it is that you can and cannot do from like a police aspect. I will say that the biggest like curveball is anything involving a car vehicle because that completely changes the game. So it was really interesting. I need to finish it. It is extremely interesting to hear what it is that they're saying, and I want to make sure I fully digest what it is that they're saying before I give my comments on it. Because, like I said before, dealing with a person in a house is completely different than a motor vehicle. There are crazy different rules and their circumstances. It completely webs off into a whole different branch of stuff that you have to deal with, like legally, that would require me to be able to explain in more than just a quick, like 30-second snippet.
Let's table it for maybe next week because I do want to get your take and then everyone else's take on that. I thought it was interesting just from a layman's perspective. I enjoy the aspect of the redefining of what's an unreasonable search and seizure when it comes to vehicles. And I got to give props to this Roman Mars over at 99% Invisible, which is like, I think an NPR podcast or whatever, because it broke down a history that was interesting enough for me to want to read another nonfiction book on this subject. Go ahead.
That's the key word. I was going to say that's the key word because most people, when they cite the Fourth Amendment, they say, "Oh, it's protection from search and seizure." It's reasonable. Reasonable is the
correct
word. So I'm glad you did mention it in that. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and it has been redefined.
Comes in.
I just will say that.
Yeah, and that's a huge problem for me. Is like they're still encroaching upon Fourth Amendment rights. Like when you pull over somebody for like a taillight infraction, but it's also like they fuck around with. When I say they, I'm talking about law enforcement. Is that they really skirt the laws that I think most people don't really understand, like what the laws are when you get pulled over. Is that if somebody pulls you over for a broken taillight, like you don't have to give them consent to search your fucking car. You don't.
Correct.
They need to have some other reason. But I think like a lot of police officers, they will just be like, hey, they'll ask the question because they know that if they say yes, then you can do whatever the fuck you want. But and then there's also the other caveat is that if you say no, like, okay, well, we'll just call a fucking, a canine unit. And there's cues that they can give the canine to be like, hey, there might be drugs in this car. And then they'll fucking search your car. And it's like, it's this whole, like, really weird gray area with the law.
But then,
and I think that...
Kind of what...
Go ahead.
No, kind of piggyback on what Cronus was saying, too, is that, like, okay, so say you got pulled over. So the perfect example is with, I can't remember the girl's name, but she got pulled over for making a right turn without using her signal. And the fact that she lighted a cigarette,
Sandra Bland.
This whole fucking what was her name?
Sandra
Bland.
Yeah. And like literally that ended up in her fucking death, basically. But it's like it's basically your word against the officer for the whole consent to search situation, and like like. If you can get stopped for any fucking reason, and a cop can basically come up with an excuse to search your fucking property, basically. And that's the whole thing that the whole podcast talked about. But I also talked about how like the whole history, how like police officers, their jobs weren't traffic stops. Like they weren't going to enforce like you speeding or you running a red light or you making legal turns like that. Like literally, it came to the point where that became a reason. It became a reason for the officers to stop you, to check to see if you're black, it was basically profiling. Basically getting pulled over basically became a form of profiling, and they have a reason to pull you over to be able to do like illegal shit that they can pretty much get away with.
Yeah, it's called a pretense stop.
Black Panther. Yeah, and that's what Black Panther pretty much started. Like the whole Black Panther, one of the Black Panther movement was to help people who were getting stopped by the police, and like they were at least stand off to the side of the road with fucking shotguns and guns like that to make sure like the cops didn't fucking go beyond what they were supposed to be fucking doing.
Well, I mean, one of the things is that most people don't really realize if you drive a car, it is literally impossible to drive your car down the street in any legal manner. It's impossible.
Sure.
Yeah,
They talk
no,
about
it's
that.
just like it's a fact. I mean, you're always gonna at some point in time
Oh
you're
yeah.
gonna speed. At some
Mm-hmm.
point in time, you're gonna go under the speed limit. At some point in time, you might not stop soon enough. At some point in time, somebody might assume that you're too close to the car in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally impossible. And I think that those laws, and it's also when it comes to like discretionary laws, which is what most traffic stops are, the discretionary laws, is that the discretionary works both ways.
Yep.
Is that they can be discretionary on either enforcing it or not enforcing it. And the problem is that those discretionary laws happen to be, unfortunately for minorities, will fall on the wrong side of those discretionary laws the vast majority of the time.
Yeah.
And I think that's what most people don't really want to understand or even like accept. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, let, I want Stitch to listen to the whole thing. I want everybody to listen to that whole thing of that episode. One of the big points, though, that was very salient to me was I smell weed, therefore,
Yeah.
Yeah.
therefore, everything, pretty much everything is permissible. Was really interesting to me from a legal perspective. I'm not siding with anybody. I just found it fascinating from a historical and legal perspective. I will say this. I would like to have it for a topic for maybe next week once everybody has kind of
Yeah.
finished it. I found it fascinating though. And I want to do kind of a semi deep dive and just get everybody's take on it in more detail maybe next week.
One thing I just want to test on, get a little taste on is that like the whole like if the reason for people to be pulled over is to analyze to see like, okay, this person ran a stop sign. Like, what was wrong with him running a stop sign? Oh, okay, there was a tree branch that was blocking the stop sign, so we need to cut back that tree branch. And like, I can think of a few tickets I've gotten, and it's like, okay, the reason why I got this ticket wasn't because like I wanted to run that red light, or the fact that I ran that stop sign, or if I made a legal fucking right hand turn. It's because, okay, so I was down in LA, and I was going through intersections, and like the red light was like above me. So every light came to, the red light was above me. But there's one intersection I came to where the red light that was above me was actually a left turn lane, and left turn lane had turned green. And by going through a bunch of like 4 or 5 red lights, I thought that light was green for me, so I started to go through the intersection, where it turns out that I ran a red light because that light wasn't for me; it was for the left turn lane. But the lane was in front of me, and it's actually this intersection is right in front of the Forum in LA. So anybody who runs that area, you know what I'm fucking talking about. But I got a red light ticket for that thing, and I fought it in court, and I actually fucking won because the fucking the light's like way not aligned with whatever. But then also like there's another situation where I was driving down the street, and it's stop sign, no stop sign, stop sign, no stop sign, stop sign, no stop sign. But then I came to an intersection where you only can make a right turn only, but there was no like indication. There's no like, there should be like an island or something that forces you to make that right hand turn. But there's still enough room where you can go straight. And there's actually a fucking sign that says right turn only. But you get so conditioned to stopping at stop sign, going straight, stop at stop sign, going straight. And I actually went through the right turn only, and literally on this other side of the fucking block was a cop. And he was it wasn't a cop in a police car. It was a cop standing there.
Yeah.
And it was a cop standing there, and he pulled out in front of the street and flagged me down and pulled over. Like, he knew people were fucking running the fucking intersection.
That's why I said, yeah, he knew.
Yeah, like, he knew that people were fucking running the intersection because, like, either they were reading the sign or they were just fucking blowing the fucking thing. But it was mainly because people were reading the fucking sign. And that's basically what it comes down to, is that, like, they need to analyze why people are doing things at a certain point to make that area fucking safer or either better. I mean, in my opinion.
It's one of the things. Well, it's one of the things that I mentioned earlier. In earlier podcasts. Like, listen, if you have a department with power, and if you give somebody a citation and that money goes into your department, that's a problem. That should not be legal. The money should go towards the community, not the department. So I think that the vast majority of traffic stops are fucking you're just giving funds to an organization to where they're financially um,
Incentivized.
not dependent, but they're incentivized. Yeah, financially incentivized to give you a ticket because it gives them money, and that's fucking wrong. Like I don't understand how the fuck that is legal at all.
That's it.
And Stitch, you might want to like
Well,
weigh in this.
next week we'll probably go into it because I don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole because I wanted to make sure we talked about some of this post office shit that was going down before we.
Yeah, we can do that.
All right. Let's round it up then, y'all. Old Ninja, what you got populating this week?
Trying to stay Rona free. Just trying to game on some of these games. I've been playing a lot of Gears 5 because some friends picked it up, so I've been playing some of that. Apex Season 6 just started, so it started yesterday. And they got a new character who has like a turret gun, so and they can put up shield walls that you can shoot through and stuff. So I'm interested in checking out these characters, see what's going on with that. I still got more Resident Evil to go through. I'm
Which
behind
one you on? Wait. Which Resident Evil you on? Hold up.
I'm on part 2.
Of what?
Of Resident Evil 2?
Yeah, I'm doing Leon's playthrough because I already finished Claire's. And then Control will have DLC. They're doing an Alan Wake crossover. That's out, I think, next Tuesday or whatnot. So I got to finish Control and then try to start the DLC on top of that. And then trying to catch up on everything that's been recommended. I can't wait for Lovecraft Country. Shout out to Warrior Fella. I didn't get a chance to answer you last week. You said you're reading Star Wars Inferno Squad. I'm reading Star Wars Alpha Squadron. And I'm halfway through. They also announced the next book in the series will be out in March of 2021. So I'm trying to be ready for that kind of stuff. I'm trying to catch up on all the stuff that's been recommended. I still haven't seen Black is King. Still haven't seen some of the other stuff. So I'm going to try to catch up really, hopefully over the weekend. Probably going to go to the beach. And then, did y'all even talk about what's going on in the area with all the fires and stuff?
No, we ain't touching that shit.
Yeah, so if you don't know, if you live outside of California, or if you're in like some of the, actually, I think if you're a Californian, you already know most of the state's on fucking fire. So there's fires actually kind of close to where I live. I think no matter where we are in the bay on this cast, I think each one of us is probably close to a fire at this point. So there's been some evacuation orders that have gone out today. They're saying there may be some more in the future, so I've been trying to keep my eye on that. So I'm trying to stay Rona free and not try to burn up over the weekend. So that's what I got.
Blue, what you got?
Kind of piggybacking on what Odin just said, like the whole, like last week we had right now in California we're having a heat wave and fucking firestorm and fucking the whole lightning situation going on. But
my daughter apologizes.
Damn.
Last week I was supposed to do a photo shoot last week, but that got canceled because of the fucking heat wave. Because you don't want to be fucking dressed up in cosplay and have like fucking 102-degree fucking weather and stuff like that. So I'm hoping that I can do a photo shoot this weekend with that person. But so I've been talking about how I've been doing like the whole trying to change my career thing, trying to become a network engineer. So I've been like doing like the whole CompTIA stuff. So right now I'm in the CompTIA Network Plus. But if you're a person who don't know how fucking computers work and how like the internet works, I would highly recommend you to do the CompTIA A+ thing, because you learn how computers work and how like, a hard drive, how that works and how you can fix that shit. But then like I'm on the networking side, and like learning how the whole internet works is like fascinating. Like I mean, I understand how the internet works, but like the whole CompTIA Networking Plus thing, like it really fucking breaks down how that shit like works. So if you have like a kid or like work from home, definitely check that shit out. Like you can probably Google like or you probably can find a video on YouTube about how the whole CompTIA Networking Plus works. So definitely check that shit out. This weekend I'm gonna pick up the whole the year. Oh shit, what's the samurai game you guys are talking about? I can't the name.
Ghost of Tsushima.
Ghost of Tsushima.
Ghost of
Yeah,
Tsushima. Tsushima.
I'm gonna pick that shit up this weekend because my brother get paid. So I start a new job next week at Facebook, and I'm fucking super excited about that. So I'm gonna pick up the game.
And now you're fired because of Prodigy.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So Mark Zuckerberg, he hired me to spy on Prodigy. So my whole job is gonna be spying on Prodigy. But other than that, just staying safe, staying corona free, and other things.
Skate. Kronos, what you got?
I'm becoming a big fan of Vicente Fox. He laid down the biggest diss track to President Trump a couple days ago. I mean, don't get me wrong. Back when President Trump first said that he was going to build the wall, he dropped a big ass diss track. But Jesus, a couple days ago he dropped like the biggest diss video. I think he won the goddamn internet.
It's top 5 for diss tracks.
Yeah, it is scathing, and it's hilarious. So if y'all look on Twitter for Vicente Fox's rebuff to President Trump, it's glorious. Other than that, I'm trying to stay in shape. I'm looking forward to more video games to play. This week I haven't played very many video games because, I played a little bit of Fall Guys. I won a game. So, which was great. I got the crown.
Nice.
I was like, what? It's like 30 people?
60.
No, it was. I started with 60.
Like that's pretty good.
Yeah, I won. I mean, it's good, but it's also like it's got wonky ass controls. So, and it's also for me like this is the problem. So Fall Guys is a fun game, but there's no option, at least what I was playing, to invert the up and down, the y-axis. And to me, it's like a huge deal because just imagine you as like a normal person playing any game with like the up and down reversed. To me, that's how it is when I play the game. If I can't invert the controls, everything's reversed up and down. And it's like, it's very confusing for my brain. And it's just like, I need to get it, I'm trying to get it done, but it's like every single movement that's up and down I have to do, it's like, it takes literally three processes in my brain to understand that this is the different up and down. But it's still a fun ass game. Fall Guys is a really fun game. It's silly. I love it. Thank you, Stitch, for introducing me to this game. Because you're the first guy that talked about it, I think, right?
We got Squad Up.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Anyway, other than that, the Infinity Base is literally 99% done. Literally 99%.
Wait, are you is that on the Trump scale or is that like real
it's on the literal scale. Like the only reason why I'm not in there right now is because I bought what do you call it? I forget the goddamn name. It's fucking super nerdy. Anyway, my network drops. I bought the Keystone.
Oh.
No. So I bought 2 Keystones. Which are basically like how you wire in your network connections for like the actual plug.
Yeah.
But the Keystones that I bought, they were not for the standard Cat 6 connectors. So when I went to go like install them, I was like, why aren't they fitting? Like what the fuck? I'm like trying to smash the shit together and they weren't working. So eventually I looked it up, like the one that I bought, and it was like they're not made for the wiring that I bought.
Yeah.
So I bought the new Keystone connectors, and hopefully this weekend I'll be able to install them. Probably tomorrow I can probably install them and put them in, and then I'll be able to move into the Infinity Base. Hopefully next week, which is good because this fucking garage gets hot as shit because it is not fucking insulated at all, and there's no fucking fans in this motherfucker, and I'm looking forward to just like moving.
Yeah.
So hopefully next week you will see me, at least me, in the new Infinity Base.
Hey.
And then I'll be able to drop more content.
Good shit.
There you go.
Stitch, what you got?
Well, like you guys said about the wildfires, it's fucking crazy. Normally I try to like barbecue or do some sort of cooking on my off days, but it's like you can't even really go outside. So I can't even like fill up the kiddie pool with Storm or anything like that. So that part kind of sucks. I will say once you do finish or get tired of Fall Guys, I definitely think you would like Cuphead, Chronos. That's something I think you would check out.
I know what that's
like
about.
crazy. Yeah, the wildfire thing is like crazy because like I've obviously lived here long enough where you can see the smoke and everything, and you can just see the whole atmosphere around you being fucking crazy. But it was like this week where I could actually see like the line of fire in the hills like at night.
Yep.
And that was the most trippiest thing for me. Like I pulled over and I was just like looking at it for a while, and I was just like amazed or whatever.
No,
so
you can actually see where the fires are fucking coming from. Like it's like right now, like the backside of Mission Peak is on fucking fire.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's surreal. It's crazy, and I kind of have a thing for like I do love weather and like watching like kind of like natural like weather crazy shit going on with like thunderstorms and shit. So
like
it's in a way I find it cool to watch.
We didn't really touch on the whole fucking lightning thing, because the whole lightning thing was like a fucking 3-hour fucking lightning show for everybody.
Yeah, that would miss like Louisiana a lot.
Real quick, goddamn, did that fuck me up? Like that whole thunder lightning storm. I didn't sleep a lot that night.
Yeah.
Like seriously, I was just like, holy shit! Like the first one that came off, I was just like, fuck. I guess my whole fucking morning, fucking I ain't getting sleep.
Well, no, what was really crazy about the whole lightning thing was that like, there's no fucking thunder that follows the lightning. Like, I'm not sure if anybody knows this. Like, no, like the earlier lightning, like there was flashes of lights coming from the window. I was like, what the fuck is that? Like, I thought like, the power was flashing or blah blah blah. But like, there was lightning happening like over in like fucking San Mateo, and I can see the fucking lightning happening. But there was no fucking thunder, and that's like the first time in my life I ever saw like lightning without fucking thunder. And like it went on for like a good fucking hour before like it actually hit above us, where we actually got to see the lightning and hear the thunder later on.
Well, right off for me, I was coming home and it was maybe like around like 4 or 5 in the morning, and like I saw it was like 90 degrees according to like my car thermometer, and I was like, oh, that's extremely high. But I was like, well, maybe it's just like my car just where it was parked or whatever. And then once I saw the lightning, I was like, oh yeah, this is definitely good. And it was just nonstop. It was really the coolest thing, like going like through the Altamont and seeing all that. So I really love that. And it didn't even like monsoon like it probably should have, but it was just I love watching like thunder and lightning storms and stuff like that. RIPs. Is RIP to Internet Explorer. Yeah.
Oh, good shit. Shout out to him. He's been helping me with replaying Dying Light. They actually dropped after 5 years some brand new DLC Hell Raid on there, which I've been talking about every week, which I'm really excited about. Loving this game. They got the invasions, PvP. They got the co-op and the open world stuff. I'm really loving this game. And then I've been getting on there with Judah and Quentin, and then Busybody Tahira as well. So it's been awesome. The other thing, I definitely want to do that 99% Invisible kind of breakdown next week. I'm really looking forward to that. And then playing a little bit more of the Ghost of Tsushima for me. And finally catching up on as much Lovecraft Country as possible. This is going to be an it show. I already fucking feel it. I know there's only been one episode out already, but I can't wait for episode 2. Really excited. That's all I got. And
sorry, there's one thing I forgot to talk about because I forgot that I was legally obligated or legally free to talk about a little bit today. Is that The Boys season 2? So far is fucking dope. I can't talk about specifics at all, but it's at least as good or better than the first season.
Yeah,
good shit.
Yeah. Y'all will definitely appreciate the blood and the gore and everything about this. I haven't finished the season yet, but it's been amazing so far. Thank you.
I kind of like how you have early access to it, because you can tease the rest of the podcast about it. But then it kind of sucks for you, because once you do watch it, you're like, oh shit, I already knew about this like a month ago.
Yeah. I I need to fix it, but I have to talk to like people to fix it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been good so far. But I'm only like a few episodes in. But to me, it's just like at least the same quality or higher quality as the. Actually, it's probably higher quality than the first season.
Damn.
If I'm going to be honest. Yeah.
All right.
Just to kind of jump back, anybody who never watched Boys, the first fucking 5-10 minutes, there's a scene where a guy is talking to his girlfriend, and all of a sudden his girlfriend gets fucking obliviated, and that's enough reason to watch the show.
Good shit.
Yeah.
Take us out, old ninja.
All right. You just experienced Black and the Black times Infinity.
Infinity.
Check us out. Mostly on the web, everywhere with Bees and BTI. That's BTHAN BTI. We're on iTunes, Apple Podcasts. We're on Player FM, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Facebook, Black and Black Times Infinity. Wednesday night, every Wednesday, 8:30. Check us out. Black and Black Times Infinity. Check us out on Spotify and our official website. Hopefully it's still up. BenHeadProductions.com/BTI on Twitch and on Amazon. We're in there as well.
All right. We are out this bitch. Peace.